Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Did you kill flies with that? All right, good. There's a lot of them in here. All right. Jason Weigandt.
Yeah, man.
Thanks so much for coming, man. This is so awesome to have you here. And we've been friends for a long time.
Yep.
It's been cool. When I floated this to you, you're like, dude, I want to come. It's cool. And you're totally, I mean, you do 14 of these a week, right?
Yeah, but I'm hardly ever interviewed.
Okay.
So that's why it's always fun for me.
Okay.
It's been the only one I've done. I even just did a different show that who knows when it's going to come out last week, just by chance. But I don't get interviewed a lot. And I'm like, I got opinions. I don't have anything to hide. So always glad to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
I want to start off with what you do. Okay.
Yep.
So you are the editorial director for Racer X magazine. And that's
Really,
your,
I would
your
say that's
bread and butter.
Yes, that is my full-time job. I would say the magazine, it's when we say editorial director, it's primarily all the digital stuff, website, the social media, video, all flows from there. The magazine is still very much Davey Coombs' baby for sure. I end up writing a story almost every month. Like right now, there's a Cole Davies issue that just came out. I wrote that story. Month before, there's a Ken Roxon on the cover story. I wrote that. But there,
And
they
then your
just
column.
and my column, yes. But there, they just say, Davey will be like, we need a Cole Davies story. Can you write it? That's it. He's the director, the editorial creative guy there.
Yep.
Everything else, social, some of the new things we've done this year, a lot of that's my ideas. Has my name on it. We don't care. But yeah, I'd say anything digital is pretty much either I came up with the idea, I did it, I assigned it, I proofed it, I edited it, something.
So online content director, right?
It was at the one time. And then basically, I know how we should look and feel and sound. So eventually it's just like he has to see everything because nothing gets me madder, I always say, than when we hang ourselves with our own rope. If we write something dumb on our own thing, we've made ourselves look bad.
That's never happened though.
Well, I try to prevent it. And it's not really proofreading. Typos are fine. They're not great, but we can live with that. But you just don't want to sound like dorks or out of touch or idiots or not who we are. So I know how we're supposed to sound, so I make sure we sound that way.
Okay. And not only the whole Racer X thing, which, and nothing against Davey. I love Davey. The magazine's awesome, but everything is, the pendulum is completely shifted. Everything's
Totally.
digital, right?
Totally.
Like you said, video,
Yes.
everything.
Totally.
AI prompter probably, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But you also have a job on the weekends.
Yeah.
Or during the week partially, right? When
Yes.
you're doing all these podcasts and
Yep.
you're doing stuff during the weekend.
Yep.
And it's like, you have so many things to do. I'm like, when do you sleep?
Yeah, there's not much. There's definitely not much. It is the motocross way. It's 7 days a week. You know, you do not get any comp time because you were gone Saturday, Sunday. You're still working Monday, and then you work until you have to go to the airport, whether that's Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. There are no days off during the season. You try your best to maybe find some time here and there. There's definitely not a day where you're like, I do not work this day. I do not work Wednesday. I do not work Thursday. Maybe you can find a day where you get a few things done and get a few free hours, depending on how that day's going. But I feel like the mechanics and everybody else in this industry are the same way. I don't know. You know,
I was just going to say, it feels like your job is very,
just like everybody
very
else.
parallel to a mechanic, where they're like,
Yeah,
how do you find time to wash your clothes? Or
Yes.
go to the DMV or whatever.
All that. Oh, dude, that's
the
disaster.
life things that you have to do.
Yes, and
right?
that is a disaster. The amount of times where I'm packing on a Thursday or a Friday, and I'm like, okay, I didn't do those XYZ things I had to get done this week, but dude, next week I'm going to pack it even tighter. We're going to be even more efficient, and we're going to get that DMV trip handled.
Doesn't happen.
No. And then once a month where you're like, okay, I have to pay the bills this month. I have to go through the mail. I have to log into the accounts. We got to get this stuff paid. It's the 27th
The
or whatever.
electrics has to stay on in the house.
Yeah, and you can just enough find time for that. But no, there's no rest for the weary. And maybe I could care less. Maybe that would help.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, again, that's just the motocross way. The mechanic could probably, no one's telling him to do it, to work that
But
hard.
there's a lot of pride in what those guys do.
Bingo.
And a lot what you do too.
Bingo.
You're not going to get in front of a camera on NBC or Peacock and go,
Yes.
and act like an idiot, right? There's no
No.
way you're going to do that. So you're going to make sure that you're dialed, right? And I think
Absolutely.
it's the same thing with the mechanics. Dude, their bikes can't fail, right?
Yes, and they take pride in their work, and they probably that last 10% is because they want to, not because someone told them to.
Yeah.
And I also feel that if I could just get more efficient, I could probably get more time, but that's on me. Learn to be more efficient.
I think if you get more efficient, you're going to find something else to do and you'll be less efficient.
It's a good point. I will just find something to fill that gap.
Yep.
I will.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I think about you, and I don't mean any offense to anybody, but when I think about you, there's a Mount Rushmore of broadcasting.
Okay.
There's Larry Huffman.
All right. Down.
There's
Down.
Art Ekman.
Mhm.
There's Larry Myers.
Yep.
And there's Jason Weigandt.
Wow.
That's my Mount Rushmore, dude. And not in, and I.
That's amazing.
I'm partial. I think you're on top, but because I didn't know those guys, I know Larry Huffman a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I've seen you do your thing throughout the years, and when you're doing your Weege show and you're walking around the pits, you have so many fans. People love you, dude.
Yeah, that
Because
part is weird.
You walk a line
Yeah.
that's very neutral, very well. A lot of guys can walk that neutral line, but they start to go off and hit the guardrails.
Yeah.
You do it very well, dude.
I think that's the number one priority, and that's probably why that part has worked so well. Like, everybody gets comments that are negative or whatnot. I don't get that many considering all the stuff I do.
How?
Yeah.
Like that's my point is like everybody gets negative comments.
Yeah,
You
they
don't.
do. They do.
It's because you do it so well.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, if you don't like the way I announce or even write or whatever, I'm actually cool with all that. That's just a matter of opinion, and I can't expect everyone to think the way I do it is right. I could even be like, well, I think it should be done this way, and you could say, I think it shouldn't. That's totally fine. The only thing that does bother me is, and it doesn't happen much, to your point, but when I do get accused of like, well, he's just a fan of this guy, or he never liked this guy, that doesn't happen much. But when it does, it gets me so mad. So I am consumed and obsessed with trying to never give someone something where they could say I was doing that. That is the number one thing that I work on every time. Do not sound biased.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I mean, and maybe I'm closer to the sport, and I know that when you have to say something about somebody, you do, and when you don't, you don't. I don't know, but I feel like you do a very good job, and I don't want to beat that horse to death, but you do such a well job of really giving praise where it needs to go, but also being neutral where it needs to be neutral, and even letting the flack fly off your back a lot. You know, like you say stuff bothers you. I'm like, I can't see anything bothering you. Like when I watch you do your job, I'm like, dude, this guy can get hit with a grenade, and he'd be like, hey, well, we're just walking down the pits. I don't know, you know.
Well, we did a video actually 2 years ago of hosting the pre-race show at Salt Lake, and the huge bombs are going off in the back.
Oh.
I posted this on social. The pyro, which is like a bomb. You've been in these stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
It makes the building shake.
Yep.
You feel the heat, even if you're at the top of the building, like we are.
Singes your eyebrows.
Yeah, and I'm just talking to our producer, and I'm like, yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, no problem. And the bombs are just going off. Because I'm always trying to show them, like, hey, man, whatever happens, I'm not rattled. You're not rattled. We got this. But on the bias thing, I guess the only point you can get it now is when someone goes on a heater, like Jet Lawrence does at times, and he wins all the races, the fans start getting tired of hearing. They get tired of it. And one of the things they get tired of is every week they turn on the show and the announcer tells you how great Jet Lawrence is doing.
But
I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you do it in a way where you're not glazing, right?
Yes.
You're hey, if somebody's winning 8 races in a row, they need to be talked about.
That's what I feel.
That's the story.
Yes,
right?
that's what I feel, yeah.
But you don't sit there and go, he's the best in the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not doing that, right? But
so maybe I get a little bit from the people that are just completely unhinged on it. But you're right. Maybe I avoid the massive amounts of criticism because maybe I am doing it in a way that it appears I'm just giving credit where it's due. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not a Jet guy.
No.
Or I'm disrespecting the other guys. I'm just telling you the guy went 22-0.
And that's it. You're I feel like you're a fan of the sport and you know how, like, where that line is too, right? You can't be a fan. You have to be a neutral guy, right?
I think being a fan and being kind of in touch with what people is thinking, I feel like I have in the back of my head like an idea of what people are going to think about what I'm about to say. And it allows me to either put the brakes on or apply it a little more, whatever it is. I think I know when enough is enough or when it turns to glazing and what people are going to, because it's all interpretation. I think I have a decent idea in the back of my mind of this is going to start to sound like glazing. Or sometimes you do have to, I think when Jet won the SMX playoffs title, maybe the second time, I was like, okay, at this point, we are now looking at, he won the motocross title in his rookie year. He won the Supercross title in his rookie year. He got hurt in motocross. Then he comes back and wins the playoffs again. I'm like, now he's proven he can come back from injury. I'm like, I think now I have to go pedal to the metal. I have to go full glaze because now I have to, for the audience, frame it of like, we are now seeing someone maybe do something that's never been done in the sport before.
Yeah.
I have to glaze that because this is a real moment here. But I know other times, this would not be the time and place. And maybe I do have that understood maybe better than most because I feel like I know how the fans feel.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I think you do too. And I think you said something really important there. You frame it.
Yes.
You don't go outside of that frame. You frame it so the people that are watching the broadcast can get a good idea of like what they're witnessing. Don't forget what's happened here in the last year or whatever has happened in these circumstances. We're watching something that's not been done or maybe not might be done there. You have to kind of you have to kind of frame it, right?
I did. I said like, look, he was probably the best motocross rider as soon as he moved to the 450 class, and he was the best Supercross rider. I'm not saying he's better than James Stewart or Ricky Carmichael or whoever, but they didn't do that particular thing.
Yep.
Like Ricky didn't win the Supercross title in his rookie year. Stu's rookie year was just not good overall. So I framed it as in, he's really the only guy that's done that. The only other guy that really did it was Dunge, but I even... Dunge was great, but a lot of guys got hurt that year. Dunge won the titles. Maybe he would have won them anyway, but it didn't feel like what Jet Lawrence did.
Right.
So I feel like I gave it enough context, framing, as you would call it, to be like, I can go full glaze here, but I could stand up in front of a court and a jury and be like, tell me what I said is not true.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're on the Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
So
wow. You know what's funny about those guys? I think when I hear that, I'm like, that can't be.
The three guys that you're on Mount Rushmore with?
And they feel like they had been around. I'm like, how could I possibly be at their level? But you know what? Time is weird how it works.
Oh, yeah.
I was on a plane with Cody Schock today, and he's like, dude, when I think outdoors, I think your voice, like, I grew up listening to that. I'm like, that's insane. He's racing. And I was like, you know what, though? I started in 2009. Started in 2009 as the outdoor announcer. So how many seasons is that?
Well, dude, before 16? That, you were at Loretta's.
Yes.
You're at Loretta's on the podium, interviewing all these kids.
Right. So when I think about it, it's been 20-some years. And actually, Larry Myers, who, in my mind, did it forever. Forever. It seemed like it was 50 years.
It was
probably 10.
Only 10? Yeah.
It was probably 10?
Yeah. You're double that.
That is mind-blowing.
So that's why you're on Mount Rushmore for me. And,
right.
And no disrespect to David Bailey or anybody else.
Hey, they're the analysts. Separate them. The ex-pros have a different job.
I just think, dude, you do such a good job again. And a lot of people don't realize you're getting talked to the whole time you're broadcasting, right?
Less than you think. A lot less than you think.
All right.
It's not as... Everyone thinks that's the hardest, most challenging thing, and it probably is, but they don't talk to us much.
Okay.
They let us cook.
Okay.
I say this all the time. All they're trying to do, when the race is going on, they pretty much don't tell us anything. They try to get the expert, be it James or Ricky, or whoever I'm working with. It used to be GL, Jeff Emig, Bailey for a while, whoever it is. They just want, get that guy to give us everything that's in his head. Only he has this knowledge. Get it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the door in the race stuff.
Yep.
The producer's really only telling you, hey, we got to go to this interview. Hey, we got to go to the podium. Hey, we got this video pre-taped thing we got to run. Very rarely are they telling us stuff. They're never telling us what to say about the racing. Never. Because they're smart enough to be like, there's no way we're ever going to tell Weigandt and Stewart something that they don't know.
But still, like when you guys are in a train of thought and you're going and you're rambling and they're like, hey, we got to cut to this. You've got to listen.
Happens. That happens for sure.
You've got to think like, okay, I've got 5 seconds for these guys to roll to this next piece, right? Like,
yes, that definitely happens. And I'll tell you what's the weirdest thing. You cannot listen to two things at the same time. No. It's not humanly possible. So
I'm going to let my wife know that.
Yeah, yes. You can't watch the game or the race on TV.
I'm watching Supercross
when she comes in the room. It cannot be done.
Yeah.
So what I guess I eventually learned to do, and I guess everyone on the TV does, is you can have the guy talk in your ear, and you can continue the sentence you already started, and do that on autopilot, and also know generally how long you probably took. Let's say it's a 5-second count to break. He'll be talking, I'll be doing the sentence, and the sentence will almost be ending, and there'll be 2 seconds to go. And I'm like, I kind of autopiloted my way through the sentence and knew that probably took 3 seconds.
Well,
but it doesn't have much.
That's
but
my
we have to
point
do it.
right now is that you are a professional at what you do.
I appreciate it.
Everybody that comes, I think I told you I got you something special.
You did say this.
It's under this cloth. It's under this cloth right here. So
it's like a new Honda that we saw today. They pulled the tarp off.
I kind of probably went too far with this, but I'm like,
what we like.
Jason Weigandt's coming. I really dig this dude. So this is your gift for coming on the Pivotable Pod. It is a 20 karat gold microphone.
It's 20 karat.
Gold plated. I'm like, you need a gold microphone award.
This is for real gold.
That's for real. From
Biggie, for real.
That's it. Right, be careful. It's got a cord.
Oh, it's got an actual cord.
Be careful. And turn it around. It's got, made in 1975. It's got a bicentennial.
What?
Yes, dude.
This is like actually old.
Oh, I have the receipt for it, bro. I have the
I don't know if I want to see
the
that, do I?
warranty thing.
What?
It's 50 years old.
Oh my gosh, man.
Here's all the paperwork for
This
it.
is like proving that it's really old right here.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody sees this here.
This is like
So I wanted you to have something that...
8/13/1976.
There you go.
Right. So did you find this like at
I look for gifts all the time because we started this thing. I'm like,
yeah.
I really want to make our podcast differently. And one of the things I want to do is give gifts to the guys that come. It's like something tangible that says, thanks for coming and hanging out and listening to my mouth rap.
I honestly think the cool paperwork from 50 years ago is as cool as the microphone.
Yeah.
This really
Do you see the receipt? It's in there.
Well, it was only $100 back then.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it
what's
is
that?
now?
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's Golden Eagle mic. That is insane.
Dude, when I saw that, I'm like, that's what you need. That is, if you're on Mount Rushmore, you need the Ferrari.
Golden mic.
Right?
I appreciate it. I had not even thought of myself in that frame because, again, I feel like those guys
I don't think you ever would.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy you are, and
Sure.
you don't need to.
Yeah.
But I think that when you understand how your fans look at you, you see the vital message boards. Everybody's like, okay, first Weigandt and then blah, 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 right? I think that everybody really loves the way you do your job, dude. And I personally do too. And that's why we're talking. And
I appreciate it. I always say, look, man, the fans can be in every single thing, not just moto fans. Moto fans are not the worst. Moto fans are not different. Fans are gnarly in every single thing. They can say horrible, hateful things. They dehumanize people. That is not a moto thing. That's an everything thing.
yeah, that's our kind of where our culture is going.
It totally is. It totally
Doesn't matter
is,
what
man.
it-
I say horrific things about guys on sports teams and games that I watch. We don't think of them as people. We just think of them like a person on a TV. They have no feelings. We don't know if they're married, have kids. They're not even humans. We just say whatever. Considering all that, I don't feel like I get that much criticism from people. Like I said, the only one that gets me mad is if they say, oh, clearly you love this guy, or clearly you hate this guy, or you like this brand of bike.
Dude,
You know, I'm like, come on, guy.
If that's all they're going to say about you, you are
No, it's true.
top shelf, bro.
Yeah, you're doing all right if you can avoid that.
In this culture,
Yes. I know.
when they can
'cause
just
it's
sling
brutal.
mud at
It's
any
brutal.
keystroke.
Yeah. But my point here is, if you do a good job, a lot of times we say that people are mean. A lot of times their criticism is valid. A lot of times it's valid. If you do a good job, they will complain less. You have to at least use it as somewhat of a guiding light of, wait a minute, maybe that's fair criticism.
Yeah.
I think also there's so much complaining now that it's easy for people to be like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. They're just not cool. Sometimes you actually sucked at the job.
Yeah, but
the criticism is valid.
I think just going to your personality though, like you're humble enough to swallow that, right? Like, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah, I would totally say that.
Yeah,
I would
know
totally
you
say
would.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. If I messed up, this isn't a matter of like opinion mess up, like I said the wrong name, I'd be like, yeah, that was dumb. I thought it was 66, it was 64.
Yep.
That was dumb.
Yep.
Yep. Because I do want people to always know that for the most part, the mistakes are just mistakes.
Yeah.
Again, I think people think that they're telling us to say stuff in our ear. I'm like, no, man, when we mess up, it's pretty much like everything else. somebody just messed up. It's not on
But
purpose.
that's live TV. Right?
Yeah, it's
Right?
hard. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the best messed up. Those guys, I messed up.
Yeah.
But those guys are legends.
Well, and it's so
it's
funny
crazy.
that I didn't even think about it when you brought that up. Like, those guys were in the game for 10 years, maybe 12.
Felt like 50.
Yes.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe Larry Huffman a little bit longer because he started in the announcing in the mid 70s and he went through to maybe late 80s.
It depends. Like, I'm sure he started, I mean, the TV was very small for moto back then. If you want to say, like, he was probably announcing at tracks in the 70s. So maybe it went to like 90. That still is only 15 years.
Yeah.
But our whole sense of time is way off from, I mean, the riders at the top of the game career back then was 4 to 5 years. Now we have Eli Tomac and Ken Roczen.
Yeah.
So it's all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Speaking of changing, I remember, back in 2018, I was like, hey, dude, you need to stop writing and start a podcast. Remember?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you just buy this stuff, I'll sponsor it. Let's just call it the Exhaust Podcast.
Was it in 2018?
That was 2018, dude.
Nice. Still going.
Yes.
Still going.
Yeah. And every year, Scott Wallenberg calls me. He's like, hey, you in? I'm like, yep.
You said, I just want it to be Weigandt's words or something him.
Yep.
I want his personality.
That's right.
Somehow. And
I remembered that.
Yes.
Cool.
And we needed to have a pod anyway. So it kind of worked. We now call it Weege Show Wednesday, but just for pure nostalgia, if you subscribe to the Racer X Podcast Network, we still put the audio, we still call it Exhaust, and we still keep the counter going. So like this week's Weege Show Wednesday, we'll say if you get the audio on your Apple iTunes, it'll say Exhaust number 398.
Oh,
or whatever.
that's cool.
So it's still there.
Okay.
Anyway, I felt bad for you because we started a pod. You backed it. Yosh has been there every episode since day one. We'd show the video thing kind of happened on accident. And I'm like, damn it. That's kind of the vision I think that Big E had. It was just too early for that. Mm-hmm. And now they're not even sponsoring the thing that they kind of would have wanted. So we gotta flip it back. So that's why I turned it into video.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is awesome, dude. I love the week show. Like what you do is just like, it's enough time after the weekend where a lot of stuff digested. It's not you're just not spitting stuff out that you just ate, kind of thing, you know?
Yes, I let everybody else do that. I listen to all their shows. Mm-hmm. I tell you what I kind of heard.
Yeah,
I try to get a guest, but not the hour-long guest. You're doing a good job of that. I feel like there's tons of those. So I'm like, I'm not going to do the hour-long guest thing anymore. I'm going to get a guy just for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's a guest as part of a bigger show, like a talk show would be.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel or Letterman, they have their monologue.
Yeah.
Then they have a guest.
And that's for us. I think I just want to do something different. I want to really want to keep things positive. There's enough like dirt slinging out there. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
When we started this thing, I'm like, Justin and I'm like, you know what? No advertising. I don't want any advertising on this thing. I just want it to be a conversation between two guys, and the audience is listening into something fun. And you
don't even plug Yosh really.
Well, I don't feel like we have to. We're on all of the Yoshimura socials.
Yeah, but you don't tell everybody how awesome your exhaust is.
Logo here. It's kind of, even that's kind of muted.
Oh, that is the logo. Yeah. I honestly do.
It's a yeah. So,
but you're never saying the 10% more power out of your exhaust system.
You do that.
Yes, because my show
there's
is
other
sponsored
places
by.
that do that. Like I'm not going to bang our own drum.
Okay.
I just want to have something that gives personality to our brand, that people can come and go. It's not all about how much horsepower did you get. Like you said, it's like, hey, dude, there's real people that work there that so
goes a long way.
Yeah,
yeah. And honestly, on the Racer X side, I think we were very good at that when we started, because Racer X used to be the small guy, and that was what you did to. That's what everybody else couldn't do. They were big. MXA was big. They were part of big publishing companies. We could be we're just guys going to the races, and whatever happens, happens. We're having a good time doing it. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the way, we got so successful that we became the big corporate media. And I think we feel a responsibility of like, you can't have inside jokes. You can't make it about yourself. It can't be personality based. People come to us for the news. It's not about us.
Right.
I think we've almost gone too far that way, and we need to make it a little bit more about we are just people.
Yeah.
We're just moto fans like everybody else. But it's hard to be both. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then like, as it pertains to this, it's like it's like there's a lot of podcasts out there that the host really, there's a lot about that person and themselves. And I'm like, it's not about me.
Yeah, you won't do it.
It's about my guest. Like it's about giving a gift. It's like, I just want it to be different. Right.
Yep.
And so, and I've heard
it.
from enough people already. They're like, dude, I really dig what you're doing. And I'm like,
Cool.
you know what? I don't look at the numbers and go, man, no, not enough people are watching. I'm like, the people that are watching are stoked.
Okay.
That's the main thing.
Yes. There you
So
go.
whether it's 1,000 views or 10,000 views or 1,000,000 views,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me. It's about making the content right, like just
Yeah.
having a great conversation, total transparency. And I feel like that's what's lacking. There's so many podcasts out there, and you know this, that they have to do it. I have to do a weekly this, and I have to do this.
Yeah.
And we do this because we wanted to. Like we were talking up there. I had the idea to do this, and they're like, "Why do you want to do more work?" I'm like, I just want to talk to people.
You want to.
Yes,
You
I
actually want to. Yes.
And so I think, and I think that translates a lot into your work is like, you want to do a good job. You want, right?
Yeah, but once you didn't want to sponsor on the show. Once you do, you really cross that line of, then there are times where you have to do it when you don't want to, or worse, on the news side, there really isn't anything interesting and you still have to do a show.
Yeah.
And you're trying to disguise this isn't, as I literally say the words, crap content just to check the box.
Yep.
Because you want people to trust that you have something to say that's interesting. You're not just saying it because you have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part about what we do at RacerX. Like, we have to cover everything. We have to fill these holes. We have to put out a magazine every month.
Have to.
Have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to.
Yep.
We have people that have bought ads. We have to do it. And to still seem fresh and interesting,
Dude, and
when you have to do it all the time, is the hardest part.
But that's what I dig about you. You can't.
Yes.
It's hard. I know, because I've been around a long time. It's hard to fake that. And when you're doing it, if you are faking it, you're doing a darn good job, dude. Because a lot of times I know you're walking around the pits or you're getting your thing going on Wednesday or whatever you have to do. But you somehow really get going on the bottom of the barrel. They're like, okay, I'm stirring the stew. I've got something on top now. Right?
Dude, exactly. Because there's a lot of times where I'm honestly feeling guilty doing it. I'm like, someone's going to give me whatever it is, 10 or 20 minutes to watch this. I'm going to feel bad if I didn't get anything. And honestly, the way Weege Show is set up, I'm there to do the TV job, right? So I am not ever arranging, I'm going to go to the pits, I'm going to interview this person. Sometimes I find people to talk to, sometimes I don't. But my day, if I was there just to do that show, I would leave the press box the minute the checkered flag is out, go into the pits, and make sure I interviewed 5 guys, if that was my job. But it's not. On TV, we're going to do a post show. Maybe everybody's gone by the time I get to the pits. But I'll still feel guilty. I'm like, dude, they watched this for 20 minutes and there wasn't a single original thing they didn't know. So I try to come up with a take or an angle, or here's a story I remember from 6 weeks ago that I didn't use. That's crap content, dude. But when you have to do it, it's so dangerous.
But you do a darn good job of doing it, dude. And I
so you don't detect it.
Well, I think I can see some stuff because I know you really well. But I'm like, I think the average guy's just like, dude, I'll listen to that guy read the phone book. I don't even care, bro.
That is what the comments say. And I'm like, we're going to try to not go that far. Like, I appreciate that. And maybe you really believe that. But hopefully we're never at the point where you're just like, that sucked, but I still will listen to him do it.
But you got to notice, when you're walking around, whether you're talking to one of Eli Tomac or the guy just wanting to talk to Weigandt when he's walking around the pits, nobody doesn't want to talk to you.
No, it's true. It is true. Yes.
And it's kind of like McGrath, to where I'm like, dude, one of the reasons, right? We talked about it on the pod, one of the reasons I feel like you won championships, because you never made enemies on the track. You never were, you know what I mean? And so when there was a mutual amount of respect, I think for the most part, LaRocque, they got into it a little bit, but
LaRocque wouldn't mind as soon as you said that. But for the most part, dude, there was a common respect, professionalism that dude, Jeremy's, he's faster than me, whatever, right? Yep.
And I feel like that's the same thing with you. I got to talk to Weigandt. That guy's great to be in neutral. He's not going to ask me these hardball questions. And if he does, it's going to be the right way.
Well, I have to respect that. If you really think about what I'm doing at the end of the race with Weege Show, I shouldn't really be allowed to do it. I shouldn't be doing it because I really respect the boundaries. There's specific press times, right? where the athlete knows whatever they say can and will be used against them. It's on the record. It's on video. When I'm just randomly walking around, their guard is totally down, and you might see something in the background that's, say, taken out of context, or maybe they're not ready to talk. Maybe they're super pissed off and they don't want to talk to someone. I have to figure out where that boundary is myself and not go too far. So that's what does it. Like, to just say the dude's going to walk around and shoot whatever he sees in the pits, that could be insane.
If you write that on paper, they'd be like, no.
No, because I might see the rider arguing with his wife or with his dad or whatever, which are just natural. But
you'll just keep walking.
Because I don't cross that line, because I respect the correct boundaries, we're good. If I really wanted to make it insane, you get away with it for about 3 weeks. But then eventually, they would be snickering in the truck like, here comes the guy with the camera, hoping he sees something. Because you've been around these teams. There are natural emotions that come out with racing. There are times where the mechanic, the rider, the dad, the wife, the girlfriend, the mom, the dad, whatever, they're hot, right? That's just a natural part of sports, right? You can't exploit that. Some people are like, dude, show it to me. And I'm like, they didn't give permission. They didn't know that was going to be seen. So I never pried too hard. I know that there's a Drive to Survive show, but they signed up for that. Nobody said, hey, I want you to come to the truck with your camera. Why are you here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason.
You'll be stinking putting that on the internet in about half hour.
I know.
Right?
Because I don't do that. I think that's why we're good. I could probably do more. They probably do want to be on it. But I'm always trying to err on the side of caution of not doing too much because nobody asked me to do it. Nobody signed up and said, the Drive to Survive F1 show, the teams agreed. Okay, this is what we signed up for. This boom mic is going to come down at any time. We agree to that. Nobody agreed that I was going to walk around with a camera randomly 2 hours after the race. Yeah. So I feel like I have to respect those boundaries.
Yeah. Oh, you do a good job of it.
Show could be better if I didn't, though. Show could be better, but it would only last about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, leave that to the other guys.
Yeah, it would only last
the ones that are going to be around for a year or two.
Until they're hiding.
Yeah.
And they're like, if he's around, tell me, I'll leave. We don't want to get to that point.
So now we have a podcast.
I know. I know.
And again, I think the reason why we started this is just I just feel like we can do something different and it's fun and we want to do it. And yeah, I just think something different, I think there's a lot of different flavors out there and we have a different vibe. And I think it's cool because people see it and they tell me like, dude, I dig what you're doing. I'm like, okay, we'll keep doing it. And the boss lets me do it. So let's start. You were born in New Jersey, yeah?
Yeah, born in New Jersey. Not a moto mecca at all.
Englishtown, come on, man.
That's all we had. That's all we had. But there was a brief time there were 2 tracks, but there's only 1 track. So I've told my story several times. What New Jersey did have was Bel Ray, the very famous oil and lubricant company. That's where it was founded. That's where it was for a long time. More recently, like in the last 5 years, they were bought by another company. They're no longer the same family, and they're no longer in New Jersey, but they were.
Oh, they're gone from New Jersey.
Yeah, I think it's the Royal Purple. Calumet is the name of the company that bought them. This is again the last couple of years. Royal Purple, you've heard of that company?
It's very vague.
It's either oil or I think it might be race gas. I don't know. I think they got bought by them. Typical companies merge.
Yeah.
So that New Jersey building is gone, but I think it had been there since the 50s.
But your dad was like a chemist, right? At Bel Ray?
Yeah, nothing to do with race. I always qualify this. He had nothing to do with racing. He did not open any doors. I did not have any connections. He was just, my dad's job was
to bring Racer X home and get you to want to be on a dirt bike, but you're not going to get one.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, his job was, to create this much MC1 premixed. How much of this, and this do we need to buy? But don't buy too much of it because that costs too much money. He was called the materials control manager. Somebody here is probably doing the same thing. How much aluminum and titanium do you need to buy to not buy too much, but to buy enough, right?
Yep.
That was his job. Had zero to do with racing sponsorship or media or anything like that. But I was into vehicles as soon as I was born. My first word was car. So my parents got me a quad when I was 6 to satisfy that. We didn't know anything about dirt bike racing or anything like that. Because by that time, Bel Ray had gone from, in the 70s, Bel Ray was huge.
Yeah.
In motocross sponsorship. It had really tapered off by the mid-80s because the company founders, one of their sons, Kurt, was a huge motocross guy. That's why they sponsored all the teams.
Because they were like into like drilling, like heavy machinery and stuff. That's what
he pulled them in. Yeah, they're mining.
Yeah,
and even I think food production, like the production lines had, they need grease for these machines. That's where they were. The son loved motocross. He got him into racing. That's why when you see Bob Hanna and Roger DeCoster and all of Team Honda at one point had giant Bel-Ray logos.
Dude, early on in Yoshimura Suzuki Factory Racing was sponsored by Bel-Ray.
Bel-Ray.
Yeah.
Yep. The road race side.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Well, sad story. He died in a scooter crash in 1979 in Italy. I think it was at like a MotoGP or 500 GP as they were then. So by the mid 80s, when I'm a kid, it's really started to wind down. I think they still sponsored Kawasaki, like Ward and Lachine.
Yep.
But it wasn't anything like it was. But they still bought ads in the magazines.
Wow.
So they have a little bit of land that they could presumably test dirt bikes with that they never used. I had this quad. And my dad would be like, hey, on Saturday, I'll just bring you to the office and you can ride the little 3 acres that they have. So he did that. And then he's like,
your parents got you a quad, but no motorcycle.
Yeah. As far as they could tell, motorcycles were way worse.
Yeah.
Motorcycles were like for Hell's Angels, risk takers.
You can't get in trouble on a 4-wheeler.
No,
ever.
you cannot crash.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nope. That seems safe. So my dad's like, do you want to see my office? Do you want to see where dad works? I mean, I'm only 6 years old. So we go in there and there's all these magazines, dude. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they have magazines for quads?
Yeah.
They have magazines for dirt bike, like motorcycles? And he's like, yeah, and we don't even read them. We just get them for free because we buy ads. You want to bring them home? So then my dad eventually is reading me.
So I think I have a picture here of your first quad.
That is one. Well, that was the second one.
Okay.
That was the second one.
Maybe
yes.
this is the first one.
That was the third. That was the third.
Man.
You got to find a Suzuki 50.
Oh, I don't have that.
Yeah, LT 50. All right, we're going to go through. So yeah, I had a Suzuki Quad Runner 50. That was the first year they had a 50 four-wheeler. That was an 84. I had an 88 of this. Mine was blue, but they had it in blue or red. That's the Moto 4 YFM 80.
Okay.
That's when I had to learn to shift gears, but it's still an auto clutch.
Yeah.
And then go to the third one. Dude, when I was...
This is a 160, right?
Yeah, when I was 15. Now it's time to step up.
Yep.
15 years old.
Yeah, you're getting bigger wheels, bigger PC.
I could ride the 80 up until I was 14. I'm like borderline adult size on that 80 quad. I wanted to get a Yamaha Blaster, which was like a 202 stroke. Oh, hell no. This was all I was allowed to get. My dad's rule were no 2 strokes, no clutches. That's for
Where
racing.
did that rule come from?
That's for racing.
That's
for racing.
Okay.
This is for just riding around in the yard and at the 3 acres that Bel-Ray owns, and that's all we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So like as a teenager, when most people would be like riding a 125 motocross bike, I got this that people can see in the video, has 3 inches of travel.
It has travel?
It does have suspension.
Really? I thought it was just in the wheels.
No, it does have suspension.
Okay.
It has 3 inches of travel front and rear. The Suzuki original quad I got, the 50 was good. That Yamaha was amazing. This sucked. This broke all the time, and it was slow and terrible.
Oh, wow.
Great memories as a kid on the little ones.
Yep.
That was ridiculous for me to have ridden quads for, at that point, age 6 through 15. I've been riding for 9 years. This is for like beginners, dude.
Yeah.
This is like you've never ridden anything in your life.
Is there like any animosity at this point? Like seriously? Like
not at that age.
I know
but
you've
now,
talked about it a little bit.
Now,
but
yes.
Like, now, yeah.
I just thought, hey, it's your parents, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, you want to get ice cream every day, and they say no.
And then also, like at that point too, you were going to English. You went to the races.
Going to the races.
Watch races.
Yes. Now the other
Like
thing,
who goes to spectate?
I didn't even know I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal. Now the one hookup we did get. So the other Bel-Ray thing was one
Did
day.
you have any friends that raced?
Never talked to another person about dirt bikes or motocross.
So you just went there, watched the
Sat in
races, had some popcorn, and went home.
Yes. Never spoke. There wasn't a kid at school that even owned a dirt bike. I never even had a verbal conversation with anyone about the races until I was in my 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm learning by like 8 or 9, I could read. You know, you're in first grade, second grade, whatever. And I'm reading cycle news every week of what happened in the Supercross, starting about like 1986, 1987. Have all this information. Then the races eventually start to come on TV. 89 is the first year all the Supercross
you're not watching WWE. You're not watching wrestling. You're into moto.
Well, I was watching that too.
Okay.
But moto more than anything else. I mean, I had videotapes.
What do you think made you like attracted? Because you just grew up, there was a magazine in your house and you just got in like...
Can anyone describe why?
I mean, for me,
Can anyone that loves it explain what it is? It's just awesome.
yeah. No,
Like,
yeah, you're right.
When you
But like
when you
I
go to
think
Palo
when
this
you-
weekend, you're gonna watch it and you're just gonna think it looks cool.
But you think about all those people that think it's cool. They got to ride a motorcycle.
I guess
You didn't get
I did
that.
not. I didn't know that was a thing you could ever do. I was always told.
I guess
that's
ignorance is
insane.
bliss. I don't
guess
know.
So, yes,
Oh my!
I was
gosh,
told
dude.
only like the most gifted Olympic level one of a million athletes could ever even do something like that.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not that. Second of all, the only people that do it
Maybe
are
they were right about that.
maybe, but I've now found out that plenty of sucky people have tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plenty of people suck and still do it.
Yeah.
Second of all, it was only for like extreme risk taker daredevils. And it's like, I guess if you got exposed to that, you would become a bad kid, I think is the parents' theory. Or maybe they were just freaking cheap. I don't know, man.
Could have been both.
It was probably all of it. So we would go, yes. 1 year, my dad comes home from work and he's like, hey, the company I work for, Bel Ray, we're going to have a commercial on television. Can you believe this? We're like, what? Dad's tiny company is a commercial on TV. He's like, yeah, there's a race on TV and we have an ad in it. It was a Unadilla GP. So we watched the race.
This is like 87, 86.
This was 85.
Okay.
We have to watch to see. So I mean, there's 6 or 7, depending on what time of the year that race was on TV. Probably 7. So we're watching just to watch the commercial. I've never seen a dirt bike race before, and it was the coolest thing ever. And it's just like these memories are just burned in my brain of what O'Mara and Hannah on the Honda Orange Works bikes. They had this insane battle in the first moto. And you know what I remember looked so cool about it? This was old school Unadilla. Everywhere they went on the track, you just see roost.
Oh, yeah.
Grass coming out of the back of the bike. And it looked so badass. And Hannah was such a wild man. That was my first exposure to it. Then the magazines started coming home.
It's so cool. Like at 6 years old, you remember that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like so vividly.
Unadilla
right?
85. Larry Myers doing the announcing.
See?
Then in 87, Motocross of Nations is coming to America. They're still a sponsor at Unadilla. So I guess the way it worked back then was like, hey man, this is really expensive to put this on. Everyone that's sponsoring this race, you have a responsibility. So I guess all the bikes were coming into like the ports in New Jersey, like on the East Coast from Europe. So Bel Ray had to use their trucks,
Oh my God.
put all the bikes in crates and drive them in Unadilla. I just remember this being a big deal.
On
Where,
their
like,
expense. On
yeah,
Bel-
it's like part of you, hey, we all hands on deck.
Yeah, you're American. You need to help people.
Yeah, you need to help. But, now that I think about it, when the race comes here, everybody's pitting out of American trucks.
Yeah.
You're probably helping in ways that you wouldn't at any other race. So I guess it was that. I just remember the truck driver, one of the truck drivers there, I'm 9 years old now, saying like, if I got a front flat on the way to the track, half of the Euro teams wouldn't even be racing. Like all the trucks, all their bikes are in the back of this truck. So we got to go. We got to go to the race. We had passes. So I got to watch. It was an insane mud race. I tell Ricky Johnson every time I see him, you saved the country. The first moto was not good for Team USA. Second moto, RJ came out there in the mud, beat everybody, saved us, won again in the second moto. Forever salute your service, RJ. So that was the first race I really got to see in person. Then we did find out that there was this Englishtown track. I think while we were there, people are like, oh, New Jersey, you go to Englishtown? And we're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
My dad's like, isn't it a drag racing track? And they're like, yeah, they have a motocross track next door. So then we
And how far away did you live from that?
dude, only like 40 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we would go sit in the stands, and I thought that was normal.
That is so
Other
cool.
people sat in the stands. I didn't know
it's so
Yeah.
untraditional or whatever. It's like
Yes.
you go and watch moto. You're into moto because you're some way you're a rider, right?
Yes,
Or
in your
you're a
mind,
wife of
that's what
somebody.
makes you like it. That's what makes you like it.
Yeah.
The riding part, in your mind, that's generally how it works, you're saying? Not the
Well,
watching?
I think it's generally how it works, but it doesn't probably doesn't translate to any other sport because
No.
if you're watching NASCAR, you're never driving on a NASCAR track.
No, it doesn't. So to me, it didn't seem weird. Like people watch the NFL. What, they threw the football around in the backyard?
Yeah.
They didn't like go to a field and play. Now looking back, yeah, they probably played in school, so they had some exposure to it. But to me, I'm like, whatever. Some people are watching a basketball game. I'm watching a dirt bike race.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Years later, I found out that's a really weird thing.
Well, I think it might have been what preserved you to do what you do now.
Maybe.
Right? Like the fact that like we're talking about 20 some years in broadcasting and doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
I have often thought of that. If I was racing like most people would I have cared a little less about the watching part, the media part? I'm sure I would have still been into watching Supercross on TV. Mm-hmm. But would half of your motocross focus, effort, thoughts, time be put into your own racing? And then maybe I would have paid attention less to the pro stuff. So maybe I'm better off now.
Maybe you're like a McGrath who was bagging groceries at 16 at Vaughn's, or a Dowdy, where like I think he didn't even turn pro till at least like 20?
21 or something. Yes.
And he raced till he was like in his 30s. Like,
so you don't take things for granted.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You're going to take every opportunity you can get. And again, my dad did not open up any doors. That is the end. Everything I just told was the end of the Bel Ray connections.
Yeah.
I got to go to Unadilla once.
But there was sparks there of Racetracks Magazine and going to Unadilla.
Yeah.
There's like those things that just kept like feeding you the...
Yeah, getting to read Cycle News and MXA every single issue for free for my entire childhood goes a long way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you went to school to do PR, right? Isn't that what your thing is? Like, hey, I'm going to go...
Yes. And I'll get a job at a PR firm. And the idea that I would work in motocross was not even... People were like, oh, dream come true. I'm like, no, not even. Like, this was beyond a dream. Like, there was no shot.
Yeah.
None. I didn't even think about working in the industry. And my age, when I graduated college in the year 2000, the economy was red hot. Getting jobs was easy.
Yeah.
There's no problem. We were not getting AI'd out. This is pre-financial crisis.
Yeah.
So getting a job would have been easy, and that's probably what I was going to do. But Davey had started a magazine that was not in California. I mean, the idea of going to California when you grow up in New Jersey and you're 22 is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But he had a magazine that was based in West Virginia. And I'm like, that seems doable. Maybe I could...
It was a magazine at that point, wasn't it?
I think it was a newspaper.
98, it started to be a
When
magazine.
I was starting to knock on the door, in college, it was a newspaper. I literally had a letter in the newspaper, and then I sent them another letter, like the letter to the editor. You know, they print letters. Mm-hmm. I got one in the newspaper. I was so stoked. I sent them another one. But then there were like 3 months where they didn't have anything because they were transitioning into a magazine. And then by chance, when that first issue of the magazine comes out, I have a letter in it.
Wow.
Me and Jamie Little both have letters back to back. In the first issue, hers is like, hey, Davey, great job. Congrats on having a magazine. I'm just writing some crap about Rhino or Ask Rhino, the old column.
Yeah.
Making jokes. But they printed 2 of my letters, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
These guys know me. I'm going to go to High Point and go party with these guys, and I'm always going to be able... My only goal, I would say, is like, I'll be able to say that I know those guys.
Yeah.
I know who Davey is.
Yeah.
I know him. That's pretty much all I ever figured I could accomplish. So by then I had a driver's license. I would drive to races. If you're in New Jersey, you can get to 5 or 6 of the nationals within a motocrosser's distance. You know, we all know 6 hours. Mm-hmm. It's nothing for a dirt bike guy. So I'd go to races and I met them and I kept sending them stuff. They had just started a website. So they were like, well, we'll take whatever you can get. We're not going to pay you, but there will never be money on a website.
They still don't pay you, right?
Yeah, right. I feel that way sometimes. Trust me. It was like, the money's in the magazine. We have a website. There's no budget there.
Yeah.
So if you want to send us stuff, go for it, kid. So that's what I did. I did that for like 2 years.
So that was in 2000, 2001?
Yeah, I think by 99, I had a little toe in the door with the print, because that first issue came out in 98. I probably sent him stuff in 99.
Yep.
2000, I had an inkling something might be happening. So when I graduated in May of 2000, I'm like, you know what, man? I could try to get the regular full-time job here in June of 2000. But you're going to regret for the rest of your life you didn't try to like see where this leads.
Yeah.
So I enrolled in grad school in the same PR program with the same professor, the easiest degree you could ever get in your life, just so I wouldn't have that much work to do. And I would like, I'll give it 1 year here where I'll fake going to grad school. I don't even care about the degree.
Yeah.
Just so I can put off the real life. Let's give it a year, see what happens. I drove to every Supercross I could, like Atlanta and Indy. Went to all the nationals that I could.
And what you were doing this in hopes of just like getting your foot in the door?
I would go to
just because you wanted to be a fan of the...
If I went to the race, I'd send them a story. And they'd put it on the website. And I'm like, maybe they'll offer a job or something. And spring break that year, they did say, hey, why don't you come and work at the office for a week? And I was like, oh my God, dude,
This is in 2000 or 01?
this would have been 01 now. I'm like, it's happening. And then I think we were all hammered at a race at one point, and Davey's like, hey, I'm starting a quad magazine. Do you know anything about quads? And I was like,
boy, do I.
Oh, exactly.
Let me tell you about my 90s.
Yes. Yes. Show the photos again. I remember calling my mom and dad. I'm like, it all paid off.
Yeah.
The quad knowledge. I was so mad about having the quad knowledge, and it's going to get me a job. Well, have you ever seen Racer Q? That's what it's going to be called. Have you ever seen it?
I had heard rumblings about it. So what's funny about when you started in the industry, that's when I got into motorsports. Because I was in the bicycle industry.
You were a BMX
prior
guy.
than
Yes.
that.
Yep.
And that's when Transworld was starting to go monthly, and Don was like, "Hey, I need a guy." And GT went bankrupt at that time where I was working, and he's like, "Come on board. I know you know product. You can write. Come on in, right?"
Were you into? I know you don't want this to be about yourself, but were you into motocross?
100%.
Oh, okay. So you're stoked on that.
Dude, I grew up riding dirt bikes. I grew up in New York, is where I was born, and my dad. So my first foray into, I think I had a dirt bike before I had a bicycle.
No way.
My dad went to the local Honda shop. I got an MR50. My brother got a CR125, and my dad bought a CR250 the year that the bikes were silver and green, 73.
Your dad had not ridden at all?
That was his first dirt bike stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive to jump in on that.
Yeah. So it was like, because he was friends with the local Honda dealer, because he was always looking at Honda stuff, the cars and everything. They had become friends, and I don't really remember their relationship there, but yeah. So I always followed moto. Like Tony D was one of my early favorites. I had posters,
Did you go to
book covers.
Did you go to Unadilla?
No.
Why not? Or is it not? Not local?
When I was in New York, we moved to Florida when I was 10. So that was 1976 or so.
It's barely even going by the time you leave. Yeah. Okay. So, that makes sense.
Moved to Florida. My mom and dad got divorced, and then that's how I got into BMX. But I always followed moto.
Okay.
And so when I was at GT, I got to know Jeremy McGrath through my friend Eric Carter. And we just his whole pro career, we sponsored him for GT bikes. So I always followed him and Jimmy Button, and all. Like I went riding with all the guys out here at all the California tracks and stuff. So I was always into moto, right? Even though I was in the bicycle industry, and then when the bicycle thing stopped, I was like, dude, I knew Don Maeda from just being at the track all the time, right?
Yeah.
And Cudby was working with us at GT. So I was like, we were really into the moto scene, even though we were in the bicycle side.
Yeah, this wasn't like you're like, oh, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
No, you weren't like that at all.
No. So just funny how like around that same time of period, you were getting into it, and so was I. So,
but let's be honest, if Davey does not start Racer X and you see West Virginia, which is only 6 hours from my house, is like, hey, this is realistic, I'm not doing anything. If Don Maeda doesn't start his own like maybe somebody else would have hired you. Probably not.
Honestly, I don't even. Who knows?
What other? Maybe there was another connection. Maybe,
you
but
have no idea.
No, you have no idea.
You didn't make that right turn. You don't know where your life would be.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but
25 years ago, it did.
And it's crazy. Like you think about that stuff, and it's like, like with my friend Justin that's doing the podcast with me, like, he was so deep into doing what he's doing. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I talked to him on the phone. I'm like, dude, you're hired. Like, come on over. Right.
Turn at the right time.
And then now he's just like, it's the same story for him now. Right. It's like, now I'm in, I know what I'm doing. I can prove myself. I don't have to drive 2.5 hours to Los Angeles anymore. And so those are the things that like, I just like, those are the real life stories that like mean stuff. Right. And that's what we need to be talking about, right?
You can make it happen. You can. Like, everybody knows the standard thing. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So I just told myself, okay, I have to meet this David
But I
Coombs
think it's more than that. It's not what you know, it's who you know, but there's got to be a burning fire inside of you to go, I'm dying to do this. I'll do whatever it takes. Like the story about you just going to work quad races. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, just because that magazine never happened.
Direction, right?
Yes. That magazine never happened. And then I'm pestering Davey because now my whole life is like on hold here, like for this quad magazine that they're going to hire me for, but they keep not starting it. And I'm like, how long can I keep this master's degree charade going? And he kept saying, we're not ready yet. And I'm pestering him. And I think he finally got sick of it. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do? We got some apartments we own in Morgantown. I can move him here. And if he just hangs out at the office long enough, Somebody will find something for the guy.
We'll keep him busy.
Yeah. And that ended up being working for his mom, actually, on the GNCC side. Why? Because everybody in GNCC wants to work on the bike side, but they're like, do you know anything about quads, which is half of our audience? I'm like, sure I do. And they're like, could you answer the phone if someone had questions about quads and rules and classes? And I'm like, absolutely. If someone wants to call and ask about a Yamaha Banshee 350 twin and how to set it up for GNCC, I've been reading these magazines since I was 6 years old. No problem. And they were like, oh my God, a guy that wants to do the ATV thing. So that got me in. Because like you said, the fire burning.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got this foot in the door, a toe in the door, then a foot in the door, and then my whole leg's in the door. Now I'm in the door. But I say when I started, no pay, no computer, no job description, no desk. I think Davey's thing was like, I don't have a spot, but if you just hang out in the building long enough, my mom will find a way to put you.
And what the ultimate test of like going, like this dude's been through the ringer and not getting paid. When he gets paid, he's going to be the most loyal dude you've ever seen in West Virginia.
It probably is. It probably is. Because at that point, here's why. And you know this. Once it works once, you know it's always going to work.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, you just go all out. You're just like, I'll help with anything you need. I can apply that to anything that I've done since then. It's the same philosophy.
Uh-huh.
You work hard enough. You always make it selfless. It's always, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? It's not about me.
Yeah.
Yes, I want the job.
Well, even just like coming to the podcast today. Like,
yeah,
that's
dude,
why I appreciate about you. No, you didn't have to do it.
No.
In fact, you could have said, I'm so busy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get on a plane to get to stinking Temecula.
Yeah.
Right? But I appreciate that.
Far.
But that's what,
yes.
But again, that's,
but
I think, what makes you different than a lot of the other guys is I think that you care and you really, there's a again, it probably goes back to your childhood. You're like, man, I just love this stuff, dude. I want to talk about it as long as I can.
I don't think anyone can explain that. Yeah. I know you're thinking it's because you had that experience riding, but the bench racing hours that you have spent that weren't necessarily work related, but you just do it because you love it. I don't think any of us can describe why we love it that much. Mm-hmm. We just do.
Yeah.
And whether I can tell you this, it's not like when I look at the 1999 season when I had nothing to do with the industry, and then like 2001 when I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And since then, when I've been gainfully employed, there's no difference in my mind. Like, I kind of paid attention back then, or I was kind of into it, and now I'm more into it. The year that you got hired at Transworld, you were already following it.
Yeah.
It didn't really change.
No.
You already were into it anyway. That's nothing that anyone told you to do, told you to care about, paid you to care about.
Just loved it.
You just love it.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Yeah.
I can't describe it. I don't know why. I don't.
Let's switch gears here a little bit. Maybe a couple of questions like what can you think of the most memorable race that you've called? Like just out of the clear blue. Like, and there's probably so many races that you've called, right? Or something that pops in your mind.
Yeah,
like,
a couple things come to mind.
This race was insane. Like you're probably thinking of it right now.
A couple of things come to mind. The actual battles are good. Like some of the best battles ever. There's a couple of Millville motos with Stu and Trey Kennard.
Oh, yeah.
Which are huge. They might have been actually the best actual races, but usually the gravity of the thing. The biggest clip I have virally on YouTube is the Chatapult. Because I remember in that moment where he's in the air, when Chad's in the air, I'm like,
he's going to die.
This is the end of his career. He will never race again. But
it certainly looked that like when he was 40 feet in the air.
Yes. And look, he's probably only in the air for how long? 5 seconds?
It's all, but dude.
What did it feel like?
You know how many people crash? Look at Jesse Nelson. He wasn't even in the air.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
Hit a bale or a barrier. Yes. So I'm just like, in that moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've just seen one of the all-time legends of the sport just take the lead in this race. He's got the greatest, it's like a Ken Roczen this year like story. He built his own team. He's putting it to Ryan Villapoto. He's about to do it. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, this is the last race he'll ever be in, ever. This is what's running through my mind. That gravity of that moment where I was like, and you have to call it that way. You have to make it seem as big a deal as this is going to be. And that really paid off because in the end, he got up and finished that race.
Well, wasn't the whole, I vaguely remember, I remember you calling it, but when he got up, you're like, he's getting like
Exactly.
What is he like?
Yes, because I had sold the obvious of he's going to be hurt really bad for sure. 10 minutes later, when he's still circulating, it's really making it look that much more miraculous. So that's the best clip I ever had. There have been some races that were so, I mean, dude, even the Deegan Shimoda SMX finale last year, because those things you're like, look, you can tell when there's races where this is going to be talked about forever and ever and ever and dissected forever. The Trey and James battle, for example, was probably better as far as they passed each other, went to the last lap. Mm-hmm. People can look this up. I think it's like Millville
2014, I think.
13, 12, something like that. But that Deegan thing, as it's unwinding, you're like, this is going to be talked about for the next 10 years. And you really better get it.
I'm there and I'm watching the thing and I'm like, I'm rubbing my eyes because I'm just like, is this really happening?
Right.
Like, am I watching this? Or is this scripted?
Yes.
Like, what? There's no way this is really happening, right?
Yeah. That's the gravity of the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So those are the things that stand out when there's a race where you're like, you're going to be bench racing. Honestly, dude, there were some in GNCC that were like that. The gravity of the moment, like this guy's won a whole bunch. Dude, we had one year in Daytona where Doug Henry came down. Doug Henry came down to the sand race in Florida. Juha Salminen is the GOAT of off-road. He's the best off-road racer that's ever existed on Earth. He's the Ricky Carmichael of World Enduro in Europe, came over to GNCC here, dominated. Doug Henry shows up on vacation with his buddies. This is 2005. He's been retired for 5 years at this point. He signs up. He's good in sand, as we know, right? And he's like...
Right there in Southwick, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's good in sand. So he is asking us, like the workers, how does it work? Well, it's a 3-hour race. Well, how do I know 3 hours? And they're like, well, you just ride until 2 laps to go and they hold out a board. And he's like, well, how do I know how fast I should go to pace myself? This one dude, this guy Dennis, who worked for Twin Air, says, just follow 111. He's the best guy. Follow him for as long as you can. And Doug's like, okay. And he's like, and then when the white flag comes out, if you got any left, see if you can burn him. So Doug's like, all right.
That's the instructions.
And bro, 2.5 hours, Doug just freaking follows Juha Salminen. And every time he'd come to the finish, he'd be like, how many laps are left? And they'd be like, it's only an hour. Just keep going. 2-lap board comes out, he starts pouring it on. White flag comes out, they're like, it's the last lap. 30 minutes, he just burned Juha Salminen and beat him.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He crosses the finish, he just falls over. I have to be the interviewer, I'm the TV guy. He cannot speak. It's total normal Doug Henry. He cannot speak.
He gave it all.
No, he's just laying there, shaking his head, sand coming out of his mouth. But he beat Juha Salminen while on vacation. The greatest.
Of course.
With no strategy. Just follow 111. And then when they say there's one left to go, that is a strategy. Yeah.
Right?
Like, and then totally unprepared. Got it done. Total Doug Henry. And I just thought of this.
That is a great story.
Going back to your Larry Myers. So Larry Myers was there. I guess he just still went to Daytona for Bike Week.
Yeah.
So Larry Myers is just walking around. I've seen Larry Myers several times. Every time I see him, I'm like, you're my hero. I try to sound like you. I try to be like you.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah, I have gotten to do
Were you
that.
a fan of him?
Oh, a million times over.
Oh
That
my
Unadilla
gosh.
85 race, dude.
That even makes my Mount Rushmore story even better.
But Larry's old school, crusty guy. He don't want compliments.
Yeah.
You're not complimenting him, and he's not complimenting you.
He's probably not, he would never come on the podcast then.
No, hell no. No, not happening. He's still alive, but he's not doing it. Yes, he is still alive, but he's not doing it. I guarantee you.
No.
So I've tried to interview him many times. He's like, no one wants to hear what I got to say. We're like, no, we love you. And he's like, the more you compliment, the worse. We know how guys
He's
are.
crusty.
We're not great with our feelings, right? So I see Larry walking around and I'm like, dude, this Juha Salminen guy is like the best off-road racer ever. Is it good that Doug Henry can just show up on vacation and beat him? Like, that doesn't say much about him or any of the guys he normally beats. And Larry just goes, well, that would be true if it wasn't Doug Henry. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, that's what Doug Henry always does. Doug Henry always does something he's not supposed to do. So you're fine. The only guy that would do that is Doug Henry. It's just because Doug Henry's awesome. It's not because this guy sucks. And I'm like, holy shit, Larry, that really makes a lot of sense. And he goes, free of charge, kid.
No way.
Yeah, it's so
it was
good.
just like that.
Yeah, it's like, there you go. You can have it. It's Doug Henry. Doug Henry crashed on a hill, broke his back, came back and won at the track. That's what Doug Henry does.
Get my helmet off.
Yes, this is what Doug Henry does. Of course he beat Juha Salminen. So yeah, that, again, because of the gravity of, you're seeing the race unfold like Deegan and Shimoda last year, and you're like, dude, there's never going to be another race like this.
Mm-mm.
The Catapult, there will be other good battles, you know?
Well, going back to the, recent history a month ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at what Ken Roxon's doing. I'm like, we are never going to witness this again. I'm like 32 years old on an 11-year-old plus motorcycle.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not taking anything away from Ken or, Jamie and Twisted, all those guys that got that bike, they made it happen, right?
They did.
But Ken at 32 years old, what he's been through, and that's why when people, we talked about this earlier, but when they're like, oh, it's a bummer Hunter didn't win, I'm like, yeah, but that's a really cool story.
Even as a Yosh guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, so the race is over.
Yeah.
I go back to the Honda truck. Where's everybody? They're out on the field congratulating Ken Roxon.
I know.
And then I'm like, and nobody's I'm waiting for all these cars to leave.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves the stadium.
Nope.
The whole stadium's packed
Yeah.
And it took them like 15 minits to get to the podium or something.
I've never seen anything like that.
Never again are we going to witness this.
Nope.
And also the other thing that I love about our sport is that it's still rider. It's about the rider, right?
Yes.
The fact that, this old quote unquote motorcycle can win a race with a Kickstarter, it just goes to show that the burning heart and the tenacity of what Ken Roxon had.
Yes.
When he got that first injury in 2017, that was really bad.
Right.
To get to that point.
Yep.
You in every other motorsport, it's about the car or the motorcycle or the equipment. And it's like, and again, I'm not taking anything. They had that equipment working, but he didn't have the latest and greatest thing, and he still did it. And I'm like, that's what's so cool about our sport. That can still happen.
Yes. There was some feeling that bike gave him that overcame, or the feeling the team and the situation that overcame any sort of technology.
Yep.
Like, it's not to say that the money and resources Honda's putting in don't work. Like, on paper, I'm sure that bike is superior.
Yep.
But it's just that doesn't always result in...
It's not always on paper, dude.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. It's not that their effort was wasted and they actually couldn't engineer a better mousetrap. They did. But motocross isn't like that.
Yep.
There's something intangible.
And I feel like what?
Would Kenny be better if he was on Hunter's bike? Probably not.
At one time he was.
He was, and it didn't work. Right. So an engineer, a scientist would say he was on an inferior product. But in his mind, in his heart, the whole situation, it was actually better for him. Which is, in motorsports especially, I don't know if that exists anywhere else.
I don't think we're going to see it again either.
No. All those circumstances, I didn't have to go to that race.
Camaraderie with Hunter and him.
Yes.
It's like, if I'm going to lose to a guy, it's totally going to be him, right?
Well, that's just Hunter being a bigger guy because, yes, the story's awesome, but I've been around a lot of championships that are close. They usually start losing their mind and start becoming completely detached from reality. And no matter how cool the other guy is, it usually doesn't matter.
But I think
that's a credit to Hunter.
And his parents, the way that he grew up.
Yes.
Like he could have been, okay, I'm on my own now, right? And I'm 26 years old and I can act the way I want.
Yeah.
But he's not that guy, right?
Nope.
He's not that guy. He's probably thinking in his mind, I'm like, I got more. There's going to be a time when I can.
And obviously everybody hopes so, because that would be the next great story, if he can get it done. But that's the hardest part about any sport. Like, I've benched race on several shows about this. They're like, oh, it's only getting harder. Jed will be back and Deegan. I'm like, not even that, dude. To just do the 17 rounds healthy is no guarantee.
He's never done it.
It doesn't matter who's lining up.
Yeah.
Just to get back to that circumstance, so many things have to go right.
Yep.
Not saying it won't happen, but dude, ask Ken. It's really hard to get all those things to go right. So that makes it even more heartbreaking. So for him to not lose his cool, I've seen almost every rider ever when they're in a fight like that, it starts to get a little disrespectful between the camps.
Yep.
And it didn't at all.
I think the whole year you saw respect between those two dudes. Yeah.
Totally. And then, yes, I was down on the floor. Same thing. I didn't have to go to that race. I wasn't on the TV crew. I'm like...
I remember you saying that. Yeah, like, I just want to...
I'm like, if Ken Roxon wins and I'm not there, like...
And then, it's the same thing for me. Like, I am so glad I was there because, like, I was on the floor when those guys got out in front and the stadium got crazy loud, right? And then Hunter crashes. I've never, in my whole time I've been in the sport, I've never heard a stadium that loud. It was deafening, dude.
Yes, it was. How cool to witness.
You can't get that on TV.
No.
You can't get that.
No, I walked outside
and
just
then
to hear it. Yeah.
Ken's circulating the stadium, and it's like it was like the wave was following them, the screams.
Yes. I'd never heard sounds like that at a race. It was like a high-pitched...
No wonder he lost it. Like, no wonder he's like...
Yeah, he did fall apart.
Dude,
he did fall apart at the end. So, yeah, it's like... Again, I wasn't doing that one on TV, but you just know, regardless of how good the race is, the gravity of the moment. We had a really good... One of my first years was... Christophe Pourcel had a huge points lead, and then Trey Kennard got on this roll. And I was working with Emig at the time, and Emig has said over and over, instead of then he's like, I would take momentum over points any day. The points don't matter. If you're rolling, things just start rolling your way. And that always had worked for Emig in his time. Kennard's winning all these motos. He's down 40 points. He's down 30, kind of like Ken. And you started to realize, okay, this is really something. This is going to be exciting. And then the last race of the year, which is, I think, Lake Elsinore.
It was at Pala, I remember.
Was that one of the Pala years?
I'm pretty sure it was Pala, yeah. And he crashed and hurt his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And then Trey
crashes,
goes on the win.
And you're like, it's over. And then Pourcel just stacks it up. And I was like, you just knew the whole time, like, how important this was. And look, man, Pourcel never won another title. His American career kind of washed out after that. Trey's a legend now. You just know the importance in the moment of some of these races. And that one. Oh, I remember the year before that, Pourcel had a point lead over Dungey.
Oh,
we're at Southwick, and we see the shot of Pourcel on the track, and I look. This is the first year I was doing the races on TV. And I'm like, wait a minute. His bike is backwards. He's trying to push it up. He didn't crash. He's done. Like, he's trying to push his bike off the track. And that's when I realized, I'm like, he's going to DNF. He's going to lose the title. Dude, I was in Denver when friggin' Tomac snapped his Achilles.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, hold on. Sexton is going to win the title. And we were just like, this can't be happening.
Because the week prior to that,
it was over.
Cooper hurt his thumb.
Yes.
Cooper Webb hurt his thumb.
Yeah. Sexton was in third.
Yeah.
Third.
Yep.
And when we all collectively realized the finals next week, Sexton's not going to clinch the title tonight, but he's going to win the title.
Yeah.
When he was third 8 days earlier.
Yep.
You're just like, what?
Yeah.
Those are the ones, of course, that stick out.
Yeah, they're burned in your head.
Yeah. You fired up just thinking about it, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's so good, dude.
It is good. We could bench race forever. But again, this isn't about bench racing, but about you. So
these are races in the past.
And it's good to talk about that stuff to let people know the gravity of the stuff that we've saw, or people that have been to these races and they're like,
yeah.
If they were watching that SMX race, they're like, I was watching that. I know what you guys are talking about.
Oh,
I'm like, what am I watching? History here, right?
It's like we all knew it was coming, but you still cannot prepare yourself.
I didn't think it was going to get like that.
No.
I was just like, when are they black flagging this race?
I know. What could Joe deal with? And it's funny because I talked to Brian actually after that, and he's like, I don't understand how everyone said, Hayden's going to have to do something crazy, but then when he did it, they didn't think it was cool. And I'm like, well, there's a difference between saying he's going to have to.
I think there's a difference between crazy and insane.
Well, it's like they didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just because they're saying he's going to have to doesn't mean they're going to say, that's awesome, or I'm going to like it when it happens.
Yeah.
We knew he was going to try something. And like you're saying, maybe it wasn't going to be that much, right?
Yeah.
We didn't expect maybe to be that.
No, I mean, maybe hit him once or twice, but not seven.
Yes.
I don't even realize
how many. Right. But I think he was surprised. He's like, I don't get it. Everybody knew for a week this was coming. So when it happened, why was it such a big deal? And it's like, because when you actually saw it, it was
and it was so cool to watch Joe just like,
oh my God.
So like nonchalant, like, wow, like, and then even at the last lap, he thought he had to pass somebody and he didn't. He passed.
He passed somebody back. Vial, yes. And he won the overall.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he had to.
But he didn't.
No. I got confused too because when they first went down, Hamaker was still in it. And I'm like, if they both don't get up quickly, Hamaker wins. And Don't forget, Hammaker had been taken out by Hampshire a few months earlier. And I'm like, oh my God, the same thing where Vial benefited. Now it's going to work out for Hammaker.
Yeah.
Joe was just able to get up quickly enough. But if their bikes were tangled, he would have been screwed too.
Yep.
You'll never forget. And that, honestly, crowd was pretty nuts.
Oh, the crowd was nuts.
It wasn't quite Roxon level, but it was loud.
It was loud. Yeah. But I think there was way more people in Salt Lake too.
Yeah.
I think there was probably
those aren't
15,000 people at SMX.
Those are not big facilities.
I think the Salt Lake's 54,000 or something. It's way more.
It was friggin' packed, I can tell you that.
It was loud.
Yes.
I've never heard anything like that. What bothers you?
Not getting it all done.
Yeah, but dude, you're never going to get it all done.
No, I know, but dude, constant failure. Like, my wife's going to send me to a shrink one day. Like, at least once a day, there is a meltdown of, here was the list, here was the things you had to accomplish.
You're talking about at home stuff.
Well, it's work. It's all related.
About work, but
it's all related.
Okay.
It's one or the other. It's, you got the 3 home things you need to get done. The work didn't get done. Or you did the work stuff and the home stuff didn't get done. Look, it all blends. There's only so much time in a day. So every week, like I said, right, you're packing and you're like, yep, didn't do it. No. And it drives me insane. And I know that any rational person would be like, well, you just made the list too long. You can't do all that.
It doesn't matter about the list, dude. You got to get stuff done.
You do.
Or else the electricity's going off.
Right.
Or
I'm consumed
you don't have
by
any laundry.
Yes, exactly. I'm consumed by it. And at home, I realize that traveling as much as I do is a massive burden on the family. So I'm going to give them everything I got. Like,
while you're there.
While I'm home, you can bet I'm going to be dishes and laundry and mopping floors and vacuuming. I'm going to do everything I can to contribute while I can to make up for the fact that there's 3 whole days of the week where I'm going to contribute 0. So that is a never-ending battle. I always feel like we could get more done on the racetrack side. We can always be better. There's always more home stuff you could do.
Again,
it's impossible.
It's so parallel as a mechanic, right? The bike can always be better.
Probably.
It's always going to be better.
Yes. And I think maybe that's...
Let's try this.
Maybe that is why I was saying before, it's like the mentality of everyone in motocross. Maybe it's just being in a competitive environment. Every single person, whether you're the photographer, like you had Cudby in here.
Yeah.
You've known Cudby your whole life or a long time. You and Cudby go way back. Cudby's an awesome dude, but he's a competitive dude.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But you don't get to be the best at anything, in his case, photography, without having that ambition. So whether it's the rider, the mechanic, what I do, what you do, what he does, I guess you will never be satisfied.
But you're always striving.
Right.
Like that's it.
That's it. You'll never be like, got it. Like you didn't have to do this pod.
Yeah.
You're always, why did you do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I
just added something.
But I love having conversations with people I love to hang around with. Like, whenever we get together and we talk, I'm like, dang it, I wish I could have talked for another hour with him.
Recorded that. Yeah. It's true. Yep.
So,
and I'm sure you felt that way with Cud.
Yeah, but
now you got to do a show.
But it's so cool that I can invite the people that I know we're going to have really good conversations on here. And it could be, there's going to be a time where like, I don't know this person sitting across the table.
Yeah.
But I know that we can have a good conversation because I know there's a commonality of like what we're talking about, and like we don't want to get negative. That's easy to do, right?
Yeah, I give you real credit. I listened to your show with Lil D, Big E and Lil D, and you got to the sound testing part, and I'm like, here comes the avalanche.
Sound testing,
and you guys didn't do it. You talked about it, but you talked about it rationally.
Yeah,
you didn't just go off on how much it sucked.
Well, I think it's very complicated, right?
Yes.
It's something that happened a long 2019, way back.
Yeah.
And it was started by the OEs, right?
Yes.
And
knowing that goes a long way. Knowing some of the details goes a long way.
There's
to
always
understand.
that argument like, dude, there's a monster truck, or
nothing
there's a NASCAR race here, whatever. And that's
Feld
totally
could not
true.
possibly care less about the sound of the bikes in a stadium.
Yep.
That's not where this sound came from.
Yeah,
the manufacturers want it.
It came from the OEs.
Yes.
But the OEs sponsor these factory teams that now they're the other end of it, right?
Yes. And also, look, there's no sympathy for the AMA. I get it. They made some bad calls this year, totally. But then in the end, it becomes their responsibility to enforce this rule that they didn't necessarily want.
Yeah.
The manufacturer said, here's a number. You guys figure out a way to put a sound test together.
Yeah.
And you teams figure out a way to pass it.
It's
put in their laps.
It's so convoluted. I mean, I seriously could talk for an hour about this.
Yes. But I'm impressed that you two talked about it and didn't just say
it's a very important issue.
Over and over and over.
Right?
It is.
For sure. It's an important issue that both of our companies are facing.
Massive.
And the fact that if we get the sound down, it's not all about the exhaust.
I know. I didn't realize that until you guys said that.
Dude,
You get the blame.
There's air boxes, there's air filters, there's clutches, there's valves.
Yeah.
Just put one of those Slater skins that they used to have. Watch the sound go.
It probably would. Well, I realized when Yamaha did their bike for this year to pass the sound test, they changed the airbox more than anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wasn't even the muffler.
And the thing is too, when this 109 thing comes, I just feel like Carrie Coombs is very, you know how her point on it is, but it's going to be really hard for the 250 privateer to compete. Like I feel like the factory guys are always going to be fine, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the privateer guys are going to be like, dude, I don't know if I could jump that triple. I don't know if my bike's going to have enough power to do that, because they're going to try to mitigate this stuff with power robbing. A 250, it's going to be hard. 450s, you can make it happen, right?
That to me, hey man, that's sports, that's racing.
Yep.
There's rules, there's regs. Hey, it was hard to jump stuff when there were 125s. You didn't hear anyone say, it's not fair, but they don't let us race 150 two-strokes. We got to race these slow 125. That's
I feel
part
like
of the game.
Back in that day, the 125 two-stroke, there was a ceiling. With a 254 stroke, you have to spend a lot of money to get those things at the pro circuit, Honda 250, all the teams, right? At that level.
Yes.
The privateers can't get there.
Yes.
Right? So that's my only, and then also,
I'm just worried that they're not going to be able to freaking pass the test. As far as your performance, hey, you know what makes it hard to throw touchdowns? Good defense.
Yep.
There's rules and regs and all sorts of sports and racing that make it difficult when you're in the arena. Passing the sound test alone to be able to compete. I'm just worried about that part.
The sound test.
Yes.
There's a microphone aimed at the muffler.
Yeah.
Why don't you put that in the front of the bike? And like, there's so many
Well,
things.
someone created that test. Right. I don't know why they picked the way they picked.
Well,
but
you know where the test came from? Europe.
Oh, I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they claim something where, like, if you had a house 12 acres from the track, this is the difference between being able to hear the bike or not. Mm-hmm. And that could be true. But I'm just giving you guys credit that you tried to see all the angles instead of just your own angle, which is, wow, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even worse, when I found out you're getting blamed when half the time it's the airbox or the clutch.
Yep.
Yeah. And to still not just make the whole pod a 1 hour going off on the rule.
Yeah. I mean, we could. That's where for me, I got to make sure that the bumpers go up in the bowling alley, right? Like, okay, stay in the lane.
Well, because it goes back to what we said at the beginning of the show. You would appear biased if your entire perspective was only based on Yoshimura's perspective.
Yeah.
That's not a real view of the whole issue, right? If you were only concerned with what's going on back there. I'm doing the
Weege thing. I'm trying to stay neutral in the lane, right?
Yeah. And tell the whole story. Like, look, a lot of people have complained about dirt bikes being loud.
Yeah.
It has happened. So it's not like it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Now, the bikes got quieter from what they used to be already, even if they don't go another step quieter. The only time I've ever been at a motocross track and said, this is too loud, I remember 2005, the first year where pretty much everybody had 254 strokes. Remember High Point had the turn?
That was the Wild West.
Oh, dude, those bikes were horrible.
Oh my
they broke all the time. High Point still had that billboard turn. They kind of brought a version of it back now, but the original one,
yeah.
I remember standing on the inside of that turn in practice, and like Millsaps and Hepler went by on Suzuki's, and I'm like,
my ears are
this
bleeding.
hurts.
Yeah.
A two-stroke was never that loud.
Yeah.
It's so much quieter than it was then.
Yes.
But this is quieter still. But I went to Donations at Ironman, and lo and behold, everybody passed.
Yeah.
Nobody blew up. They jumped the jumps. Mm-hmm. The world kept spinning. That doesn't mean that there's not some pain along the way.
Yeah.
But I did hear teams saying it's impossible. It cannot be done. And I'm like, I'm seeing it done right now.
Teams, But I think that
the privateer is going to be tough.
Yeah, yes. I think you're dealing with at MXDN. You're dealing with teams that have some money to get
Good
there.
Point.
You know what I mean?
No, it's an excellent point.
When you're dealing with the guy that's running out of his pickup truck,
yes,
at High Point,
and when he doesn't pass, what does he do?
And you know,
what does he do?
Yeah, to Kerry's point, it's like how are we going to sound test 2,500 guys at Loretta's?
Yeah, that's when you go to way back. They tried sound testing at GNCC when you've got, again, 2,500. It was impossible.
Yeah.
The line.
There's no way.
And then
you can't do it.
No, it lasted a couple weeks, and it was like the line. Then you fail. Then you have to come back and get in line. This will take 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that part, again, I understand why they're doing it.
Well, here's my point. Here, my thing is too is I feel, and again, this is me trying to take myself out of the Yoshimura thing.
And credit to you for.
I'm looking at. It's not just sound. Once the sound goes down, they're going to go, there's too much dust. Get those dirt bikes. It's always going to be something. It's like those nuisance motorcycle dirt bikes, right?
Yeah. I don't agree.
I just feel like, well, I've seen a lot of stuff around California where like,
right,
the dust is a problem. Like when Milestone was here, those buildings that were out there, there was dust all over the place. So I just feel if it's not dust, it's something. Right, I always feel that there's going to be something like there's kids getting hurt out there, kind of.
There can be, but there's definitely some times where it's just a sound. There's definitely times where it's just sound. Like that's not to say that there aren't some circumstances where they are just looking to find anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are times where they're just like, if I didn't even know you were doing it, I wouldn't even care.
Yeah,
but it's freaking annoying. That's all. Yes, there are other times where they just don't want it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the next question for you.
Okay.
Why do you do it?
Well, there comes a point for everyone in this industry where you get in so deep.
I mean, there's a point where like you got to get up every morning. It's 4:30 in the morning or 5, and you're getting up. The kids got to eat, or you got to get on a plane.
Yeah.
And there's got to be something running through your brain. At some point, you're like, "Am I on a treadmill here? What? Like, why am I doing this?" Do you think about it, or is it just like emotion?
But, no, I do all the time, but the answer is not what people want to hear. Eventually, you get so deep in it where you can't get out. Like, now this is just how I put food in the table. Sure, I love it, but I'm no longer, as a husband and a dad, in the position of doing stuff because I like it.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, it has to pay off. It has to. So I got to gobble up all the checks till the day they stop calling. Larry Myers, they stopped calling him at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Huffman, stopped calling him. Art Ekman, they put him out to pasture. That day will come. I'm in a better situation than they are because you can always start a podcast. If they, back then it was like if you're not on the TV show, there isn't any other thing you can do. Mm-hmm. You can't start your own thing. But at some point, you get to the point where you're like, okay, now this is my career path to start from scratch elsewhere. Maybe that could happen, but that seems awfully risky. You better just make the most of what you got here. So I would love to say the thing that gets me up. Look, no one is more pumped on this race at Pala than me.
Okay.
Everybody's stoked.
Okay, that's where I was hoping.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's stoked.
Because I think, too, like...
Yeah.
You have to get up. You have to put food on the table. You have to do what you do.
Yes.
But I also feel, because it's in my case, that's the same thing for me.
Yeah.
But I also feel I absolutely love what I do here at Yoshimura. I love it, dude. I tell Justin all the time, I'm like, dude, I get up in the morning. I can't wait to get here.
I'm the same way with work. I've never not wanted to work. Never. I was on the plane today. I logged in with the free Wi-Fi on the plane and I was working, and I genuinely enjoy doing that more than if I was watching a movie. But when you get in a plane and you leave your family on weekends,
that's right.
Anyone on earth would be like, imagine if you just went to play golf with your buddies 31 weekends of the year. You cannot justify that.
No.
You can only justify it because you have to do it for work purposes.
Yeah.
Again, everyone's stoked on Jet V Deegs. I am just as stoked as anyone. I want to be here. But I can only justify being here because I have to be here, and it puts money on the food on the table, puts money in the bank. I
have a feeling.
Yeah.
If you didn't need to be here, you'd be here.
I went to the Roxon race.
That's what
nobody told me to.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I'm like, I'm going to have to go.
And think about that Roxon race.
Yeah.
And what we're going to experience this weekend, and
Yes.
we're trying to do this evergreen thing with these podcasts, but right now we're talking about this weekend.
Sure.
Look at the bookends
Dude,
of that
crazy.
race and what could potentially be happening this weekend.
Yeah, to know there wasn't going to be a letdown of like, and who knows? It's going to get crazy again. And look, whenever this pod comes out, it's not really just about round one.
Yes, of
It's
course.
about, here's a whole new era for the sport, and hopefully it goes on for years, not just one weekend. Point being, yes, I want to be here, but I'd be picking and choosing
Yeah, for sure.
quite carefully. It's good to be able to justify it.
Yep.
And now you got to squeeze everything you can out of that until they stop calling.
And you got to get on the
someday
plane
they
to go
will.
home. be up to the family again.
Oh, that's why I'm on the red eye
Yep.
every Saturday. My producer of the TV show, Chris Bond, when I first started, he's like, here's how it's going to go. Here's how it goes for all of them. Who the hell's Jason Weigandt? I want Jason Weigandt. Let's get a cheaper Jason Weigandt. Who the hell's Jason Weigandt? That's the cycle.
That's the cycle.
That's the cycle. So someday that will come.
Yeah.
It happened for Larry Myers.
What, you were doing TV early on, and then you really didn't get the call to Supercross. What was going on there? Like you were clearly qualified to do.
The worst part is, I don't know how many people remember this now, that for 5 years, I did the audio webcast. Before Supercross was live on TV, the only thing you did have was a live audio you could listen to on the computer, on the internet. I say computer because we didn't even have phones yet at this time.
Yeah.
Or tablets. So the TV thing real quick and the announcing thing, I was reaching out to Davey, as we said, knowing he's got the magazine, but the guy is also on the TV show. Like Davey Coombs used to do the job that Jason Thomas is doing now.
Yeah.
The sideline reporter guy and interview guy. So I'm like, I'm not going to advertise that I'm here to do TV because everybody wants to do that. That's the glamour job. But if I meet this guy, he's going to have all the connections, which he did. Amazing thing Davey did that I don't know anybody else ever did this. He was the TV reporter until he had his first kid. And he said, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm done. And his oldest, Vance, was his first child, he just graduated college. So that was 2000, whatever that was, 03, 04, when he's finally like, I think he did it for a year or two and is like, nope, I'm not leaving every weekend. He gave up the TV job. That's how. I don't know anyone else who's ever done that. Just straight up, I have a kid, can't do it. Good for him. Anyway, I was at GNCC's, as we talked about. There's long races, a lot of hours to cover. The announcer, Rodney Tomlin, is like, hey, you're the reporter guy. Got any info? Interviewed me. He's like, man, you really speak well. And I'm thinking like, well, that was the point.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling anybody that. So I just started talking to the announcer more and more. And then next thing you know, he's like, why don't you just take the mic for a half hour? And then eventually we're the two announcers. Then the races get on TV. No one knows anything about quads. We went fast. Brett Smith was working for the TV production TV production crew at the time. He's just emailing me question after question so they can train up Art Ekman to do these GNCC races on TV. And finally they're like, dude, for the quad races, do you just want to do it yourself? You're announcing at the track. You want to try it? And that's how I became a TV guy. Because Art Ekman was never going to, at his age, learn the quads.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen. So they just used me, and then I did a good job, and then I'm in. Now I'm a TV guy. A year or so later, they had that audio webcast for Supercross. The old host is this guy, Chad Damiani. He was just a guy that worked in Hollywood. He did wrestling. He wrote scripts. I don't know how the heck he got the Supercross gig. I think it was something like the audio producer also had worked with him in wrestling and was like, I got a guy that can do it. He did it for a few years. He got a job writing a sitcom. No, he got a job. The guy who did the Supercross webcast, Ryan Seacrest, has a LA radio show, right?
Yeah.
Does he still have it?
I think, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Who listens to radio anymore?
Right. But he did, at least. He's not that funny in real life. He hires writers to just like DM him, back then probably AOL, IM him jokes during the show so he could have funny one-liners. He got hired to be Ryan Seacrest's joke writer. Just wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, just be over here to send me some jokes.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So he gets this gig. He can't pass it up. They, all of a sudden now, the old Supercross, it's Feld now, but it's the same people. It's still Dave Prater, Todd Gendro.
Yeah.
They call Davey and they're like, dude, we just lost our announcer. He's going to do the 2 Canadian December races. Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
But by Anaheim, he's out. Davey, do you know anybody? Or do you want to do it, Davey? And he's like, nope. I'm retired, man. But I got this guy in the office that does GNCC. He loves Supercross. He could do it. And they're like, all right, well, we'll send him to Vancouver. So I did the Vancouver race in December, and they're like, you got the job, kid. So I'm like, dude, I'm 26 now, and I'm already working in Supercross. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Anaheim 105, like the most anticipated race ever.
Yeah.
I'm announcing it on the live webcast. What are the freaking odds that this has happened? This is only 4 years after I've graduated, and it's already happened. So I'm on my way, told hundreds of times, good things are coming for you. You just wait. You know, you're young. It's going to happen. You're going to be our guy. 09, I get the outdoor gig. Congrats to you. That's great. We got big things in store for you also. That was 09. Supercross starts in 2010. All of a sudden, everybody's real cold. I still have the audio job, but they are not pumped anymore. There's no more, you're our guy. There was starting to become this rift between the two series, of which I had nothing to do with.
Oh.
But I was the only one that was working for both.
Okay.
I was the outdoor TV guy, and I was doing the audio. Everybody else could just mean mug each other, but it didn't mean anything. Yeah. I was the only one that was really working both. Some of the TV people did both.
Forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. And what's really crazy is I think all of that was actually because... Remember the Do Action Sports Tour?
Yes.
Feld was part of that when it started. For whatever reason, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't work out. NBC still had this whole action sports wing that they wanted to do something with, so they picked up the motocross series. And I think the Supercross people felt like, hey man, we were working with NBC on the action sports tour. It didn't work. How did you end up picking motocross over the thing we did? And I think it was just like a personal, they were mad at NBC at the time. This is 2008. It's all 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that had anything to do with any of that is long gone from any of these jobs. But I didn't know about any of this. I'm just like, I just don't feel like they want me to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the webcast went away. That was the end of 10 before the 2011 season. And I was no longer part of Supercross anymore. And I went from 05, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's happening, to we don't have anything for you anymore. So I just started doing more at Racer X to still find a way to go to the races.
But it didn't,
and I was
you
out
did
for
all
a
the
long
outdoor.
I did all the outdoor since 09.
All the time.
Yes, since 09. Yep. Only missed one. My daughter was born Budds Creek 2010. Davey jumped back in. Davey and Emig did the show. I wanted to go. She was born on a Thursday. It's only 3 hours from Morgantown where I was living. And they're like, do not dare leave that hospital with a 1 day old.
Yeah.
Your wife will never forgive you. We got it. Anyway, yeah, I thought I was headed to big things. And I go from like, I'm 26, I'm already working for Supercross. And by the time I'm 30, I'm out.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I thought, for sure, this will never happen. Hundreds, thousands of times. 2019, they moved to NBC from Speed. Motocross had been on NBC for 10 years at that point. I thought, I'm good. They're just going to roll us all in. Nope. That wasn't happening. They were still not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
Motocross and Supercross. And then in Daytona 2020, I see Davey, and he's like, dude, you will not believe what happened yesterday, I guess Friday or Thursday. He's like, Gendro and Prater from Feld, they're like, hey, can we talk? I'm like, okay. And they like pulled me and my sister aside, and they're like, we really need to put this all behind us. This is not good for any of us having this icy relationship. We need to work together. And they're like, work together how? They're like, I don't know, let's just bury all hatchets. Dude, 5 days later, COVID like officially takes root, and races get canceled. And they're like, we're going to have to get on some calls to figure out the schedule to get all the races in. Thank God, for some reason, Feld decided to reach out a few days before that.
Because wasn't Tim Cotter really instrumental in like trying to, or MX Sports was really instrumental in like going to cities and...
Oh yeah. What things do we need to do to prove to the towns that we can do this without spreading COVID? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they called it safe to race. And a lot of it, the phrase is always, all politics are local, right? It's not what the White House says, it's what the county says, it's what the state says. Yep. So they had to do a lot of research to figure that out. It certainly helped Supercross as well. But I think if they had not by chance extended the olive branch a few days before.
What's crazy is that COVID
was
the bridge that
it totally was.
It was a bridge.
Totally was. Totally, man. I remember talking
That is crazy. I like COVID now.
Yeah, it did the job. I remember talking to Jeff Myshak. You know him.
Yeah.
He was one of the owners of the Geico Honda team. And I'm like, dude, you will not believe this. They're like getting along well. He's like, I don't buy it for 1 second. And I'm like, look at the schedule. They moved outdoors back so Supercross could start in June and get finished. And he's like, they're only doing that because they both need each other this year. There's no way this will last. And I'm like, no, man, you don't understand. Like, it's odd. It's like the day they started working together, they realized, what was the problem all along?
Yeah, we're stronger together.
We're stronger together. And then by about 01, 02, they're like, so what could we really do? We got through the COVID thing. What could we really do if we worked together? And Davey's sister's like, well, for one, we both have separate TV deals on the same channel. Why do we not shop as one giant thing? That would be a way easier way to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, okay, well, our rights are... They even, I think, because they were working together so poorly, the outdoor deal would expire 1 year before or after the Supercross deal. They wouldn't even expire at the same time. So they could never work together. So Davey's sister even said, you know what? I'll take a 1 year flyer. We'll just stick with MAV TV, which is not going to be as good as being part of Peacock and NBC. But if we go 1 year, then our deals will expire in the same year. And then we can shop together. And look how much better everything is now.
Yeah, it is.
And then they got the teams involved because the teams are like, thank God.
So that kicked the door open for you, that whole thing.
And I still didn't believe it, much like Jeff Myshak. Davey kept saying, like, this is 2021. The vision of what became these playoffs, I was already hearing about. That was 2023 when it happened. They kept saying they're working on it. They're working on it. There will be room for you. Everyone's going to be involved across the board. Motocross, Supercross, it'll all be one. And I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It's true. If not for COVID, who knows?
COVID was the bridge.
It really was, dude.
So now that you've been doing it,
Yeah.
all it's cracked up to be, stoked, or you're like, hey, dude, it's putting food on the table?
It's not as life-changing as you know what? This was the life-changing part. I always thought doing the job would be the thing, like the actual doing the show. Whether you're doing 9 shows or 19 or 29, that's the same. It was the feeling of respect that you're good enough to do it. Whether I had done 1 Supercross or 100. So the first year, 2023, Daniel Blair was still there. So I still wasn't in the booth for Supercross. They used me for I think 2 pre-race shows, if I remember right. And that right there was the euphoric. I'm like, I thought I was reaching for, I want to do all the races. And I wanted to be in the booth for Supercross. What I found out I really just wanted was the acceptance of, we're cool with you, you're cool with us, we respect you. Even if I wasn't in the booth, I was part of the team.
Yeah.
And just feeling that for the first time in...
Like respect.
Yeah, there's respect for 12... Because for 12 years or whatever it had been before that...
What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, from 2010 to 2022, I'm like, yeah, what am I doing wrong? Am I not good enough? Could I have changed something? Could I have done something different? What? The same thing I tried a million times that worked everywhere else wasn't doing anything. I couldn't have been nicer, more helpful, and it wasn't doing a damn thing. And then all of a sudden it just flipped, and I was in. And I remember the first race I did in the booth, I think was Anaheim, maybe 2 of 2024, but there it is. I don't even remember exactly what race it was. Because I would already, once I was part of the team, it was all gravy from there.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many races. People get mad. I think this year I only did 7.
Yeah, but I think I talked to you, and you're like, dude, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, if I get a couple of weekends off, dude, diffs in the, whatever, I'm cool with that. I don't need to do all 17 rounds.
And that's what I thought. That's what I didn't think would be like that. I thought it was like, you do them all and you're the man, or you haven't arrived. I found out just being part of it and being respected really is all I'm looking for. And the day will probably come where I'll do more. Then, as I say, the day will come where I won't do any. But that will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Just being accepted. Because you're always, did I know in the back of my mind it was probably politics? Sure. But no one's going to say that to your face. What isn't?
Yeah, this podcast isn't politics.
No, you did a good job getting out of that.
Look, I invited little B on first episode.
That was impressive.
Hey, you got to break the balls right now.
You did. But in the back of my mind, I always wondered, I'm like, or maybe if I was better,
the
politics wouldn't matter. Maybe if I had done this, said this, tried this, you would spend the rest of your life wondering what if.
Yeah, you're wondering. Yeah.
And now I'm just not anymore. So euphoric.
I like it.
Yep.
Who's your favorite guy to work with? And I mean,
you mean in the booth or as a rider?
I would say in the booth or in broadcasting in general. I would say.
Yeah. So I mentioned our producer Chris Bond, who gets a lot of grief from people. They don't necessarily know his name. They just say he's the producer who. Why are they showing the battle for sixth when they should be showing the lead, or why are they showing the lead when they should be showing sixth? Whatever he shows, it's wrong. Yeah. He's such a great leader. I mean, we have, say, 50 people on the TV crew, but it all funnels through him. You have an issue, you have an idea, you have a suggestion, something needs to be fixed, something needs to be better, tell him. It's not necessarily him that's, it could be a director thing or a camera thing or a graphics thing, but he will get it handled. And I think that's highly underrated as a skill of you go to the boss, he'll handle it.
Mm-hmm.
A. B, I remember way back, he came up to me in a national, I think I wasn't even the TV guy yet. And he's like, hey, do you have a Wes Williams phone number from Verb? I'm like, you mean those video guys? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you want their number for? He's like, they do good stuff. Maybe we could use some of their footage. And I'm like, what I expected was that the TV people would be like, Verb, Wes Williams, ha ha ha, we're so superior to them. We would never even consider talking to them, let alone using their footage. But he's very much like, if you got a good idea, or if you're good at what you do, I don't care. If it's better, it has to be invented here, it has to be my guy, it has to be my idea. That, again, is highly underrated and pretty rare, So I've seen that a million times. He's done that over and over and over, where it's like, if you got an idea, and that's why I say the show, they just want Stu and RC to give us what they got. Whatever Chris Bond thinks about the racing, he knows they know more than him. They're the champions. Give me what you got. Tell me what I can do so your idea can get on the TV show. I just respect how he's a real leader like that and how he...
Kind of selfless, right?
Totally. He does not care. No one's ever seen the guy on camera. No one ever will. He doesn't care if we say his name on the show. That is not his goal. Now, there are many other people on the TV side who are super ego, super I, me. There's hundreds of those. But luckily, our producer isn't one of them. He probably has to calm those people down.
Sure he does.
Yes, but he probably does a good job of that.
Yeah.
Because here's what I assume. When I say they're not talking to us in our ear, I have a feeling in the truck, all hell is breaking loose. But they don't let us get affected by that. They shield us from when there's probably 3 people at a desk. We should do this, or we're running out of time, or what are we going to do, or how are we going to fit this in? We don't hear about those battles.
Do you think you could do his job?
Hell no.
No way.
His job maybe, but next to him is our director, Jeff Manhart. I never got to see them in action until Salt Lake because I was there just to hang out. And they're like, dude, come into the truck, see how it works.
Because you're not even in that truck.
We're in a different truck. They've never sat in my room and I've never sat in theirs because we're all working. So I did, and I was like...
Are they launching the space shuttle in here?
It's insane.
It's crazy. I've been in there. I've seen it.
You have?
Yeah.
Dude, it's friggin' nuts.
Yeah, there's 70 people talking, it feels like, and they're all they're all pulling switches and doing stuff, and
somewhat communicating, but still focused on their individual task. But so, Jeff,
it's
our
very
director,
much to me like launching a space shuttle. When you see those pictures and everybody's got their own thing in front of them, and they're doing their and it takes that orchestra to make that thing go up in the air.
Yes,
it's very much like that when I went in there, and they're all facing forward. Right?
Yes. I'm so glad you got to see it. And one of the coolest parts about it was I had been going to the races on my own as the reporter for so long. I was a one-man gang. And, Transworld had their one guy, and Vital has their one guy, whatever. We're all one-man gang. Maybe there's 2 for the most part. But to be on a team that was like that, I don't know how to do your job, but I know when the time comes, you're going to be ready, and you don't know how to do mine, but I'll be ready too.
Yeah.
And the spaceship launches.
Yeah.
That is such a cool feeling. So when I hear people bashing the TV show, it gets me mad because I'm like, dude, you don't understand. We're not morons. We all have the best intentions. We're all working together. What you're mad about is you're comparing football, where you can see every single player with one camera on every play, to a race where they're spread out all over the track.
There's 18 cameras, right?
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I cannot see Roxon in the lead and the battle for third at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could do a split screen, which they also complain about for some odd reason. So I just feel like
now there's drones.
Now there's drones
flying all,
we're doing everything we can to show as much as we can.
Yep.
That's why it gets me mad because the team led by Bondo, and again, dude, they'll do anything. If we have a suggestion, the experts, quote unquote, me, JT, RC, Stu, whoever, they're like, we can't. Heck, we had meetings every November, and they'll be like, don't think about budget. Maybe we won't be able to pay for it. Maybe the technology doesn't exist.
That's great.
But just give us your idea.
Yeah, pie in the sky.
Yeah, and sometimes the answer is like any other company. Like I'm sure maybe you could make exhaust out of carbon fiber. Maybe there's reasons you can't, but give us a suggestion, and then we'll try to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I got Dartfish on the show 2 years ago. It didn't really work for the TV show like I thought, but I just thought I know in the trucks, you've watched it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, these races
It's interesting to see.
It
the
is.
overlay of
But to see it, I found out it's something you really, they're looking at that Dartfish for probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's what it really takes. You can't show it in a minute and a half and really get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Like
you almost have to watch a whole lap and he's gaining time there, he's gaining time there.
And then run it back and be like, why? Oh, it was actually the turn before it. He got to the brakes. That takes so much analysis. We don't have time to dive 15 minutes into it. But that was just a point. I said, can we use Dartfish? And they're like, let's find out what it costs. Let's find someone who can run it. Let's try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's important to you?
There's only one thing, man. I'm then judged. I don't have a lap time or anything that's measurable for anything I'm doing. So the only thing I have is integrity. It's all I got. That's why the occasional criticism of being biased, like we said, not much, but that's why that bothers me. Because the only thing I have is credibility and integrity, right? So anytime that is attacked, I'm like, if I lose that, I'm toast.
Yeah, what do I have?
Yeah. If you're the athlete, look, we used to make the joke, Mitch Payton would hire a serial killer if he can win. If you're good at racing or you're good at football or you're good at basketball, you can get away with a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of us don't have that in our back pocket. Even if you have a talent, you could say I have a talent for speaking, but hey, I didn't have Supercross for 15 years. If you lose that credibility and that integrity, you're toast. So that is the most important thing to try to keep above board at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Okay. We touched on this earlier, but for a while, 2 years or so, you did a Moto America reporter thing.
Yeah.
That was something obviously you wanted to do. Was it very different for you? Did you like doing it? Would you like to do it again? Where are you with that? You're in a completely two wheels racing.
Yeah.
But very
Totally
different. Very different.
Insane. So I'll tell you how that came about. So our old boss at NBC, Rich O'Connor, during COVID, they lost tons of their, everybody was losing money. So tons of people got laid off. That was a big blow for us. We're like, dude, Rich is our guy, and I think he's going to get cut. They probably cut half their crew. This is NBC. So he just freelances for other things. I think this is 2022. I get a call from him, and he's like, hey, I'm doing some Moto America races now, and we have a spot open at Virginia, I think, this weekend. Are you available? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, do you follow Moto America? Dude, I did not follow Moto America at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course. It's motorcycle racing. Of course I know what's going on. I didn't know anything, dude. And he's like, all right, so you can work this weekend? And I'm like, I'm in, dude. So I just crammed for 2 days and did the job. And I was reporter, but they brought me in. Those are long days. So everybody rotates. You're in the pits for an hour. You're in the booth for an hour. You know how those races are. There's classes going all day.
Mm-hmm.
That I figured out on a Tuesday or Wednesday to be in there Friday and knowing what the heck was going on. And I could not believe the words that were coming out of my mouth when they're coming out of my mouth. It was like, talk to this crew chief. He tells me a bunch of stuff I've never heard of in my life. And I articulated it 5 minutes later. It was so different than motocross where I just already kind of know. You're asking almost just because you need the person to tell you what you already know, because as a reporter, you need them to tell you.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of that. That is by far the most pride I'd ever had in a job I did at the end of that weekend. I'm like,
pulled it off.
Yes, I knew nothing. And there's no way anyone on that Friday, Saturday, Sunday thought that guy shouldn't be here. He doesn't know what's going on.
And they asked you back.
Yes, they asked me back.
Like, that guy's good.
Yeah, good enough. It was weird. Like, I think the TV crew was just a TV crew. They didn't know if I was a motocross guy or not. The paddock was pumped that I was there.
They knew.
And they were so good to work with. This is what I was talking to you about upstairs. Poor Moto America, they know what the heights are like. You know, I'm sure you could argue in 05, that was just as big as Supercross, right?
Mm-hmm.
AMA Superbike,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm sure if you're the riders there, you're like, man, I want to be there. I want to be the Supercross level. We know we can do it. We used to be that big. So they're the most easy to work with as a media guy group you'll ever get. They're looking for promotion, publicity. They're trying to get to that level again. So that bailed me out a lot. Every person gave me as much time as I needed, cheat sheeted over and over. They were great for that. Every rider, the teams, the crew chiefs, I could not thank them enough. They had me do it for 2 years. They stopped calling, which was great because by 23, I was in Supercross and I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
But they didn't call back. I know the series was pumped that I was there, but whatever. I was only filling in when like one of the other announcers had another gig. So I think they just didn't have a need.
Yeah.
But it was, and you know what's funny?
Well, it's cool that you got to experience that, right?
Oh, dude. And it was cool in so many ways. I got to experience what road racing is like. I got to go to the cool tracks. Like now I can always say I've been to Laguna Seca and Road America. I wouldn't have probably gone there. And here's the other thing. You will love this, dude. So the most popular class there is the twins for like primarily the Cowie 400. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you make some exhaust.
Well, the Cowie 400's in the
now it's a 500
Junior Cup or whatever. Now, yeah.
Back then there were
the twins classes like the 700cc bikes.
Well, sorry. Then now that's that class. Yes. No, but there was a class specifically run for maybe it's called Junior Cup. You're right.
I think it was Junior Cup. Yeah.
Cowie doesn't even make the 400 Ninja anymore.
No, the
now
500. Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, the 400 Ninja was the bike of choice in the races at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest class. Dude, now I can recognize a Cowie 400 Ninja on the road anytime, any place. I can just be on my front porch. Ninja 400. The sound of a parallel twin is
Very
burned in my brain
Yep.
from those races, which I think is cool. I wouldn't have had that. And I'm glad I did.
I think you've already answered this, but how would you define success in your life?
It's tough because the first part is, like I
think
said,
you answered it. It's integrity, dude.
That's
no
all
matter
you got.
where you go.
Yes. Yeah.
You have that, right? That's
I think you're right.
Like that's the thing that you have when nobody's looking, right?
Yes. And I'm glad you said the nobody looking thing. I do not ever want the riders to think he's cool on the air or he's cool when he's broing you down at the race, but he's not actually
You just see him
like
on the
that.
airplane.
Yes. Yes. It is so key, man. And look, we're guys. We joke. We bust each other's balls. But because I didn't race growing up, it is never meant in a I have so much respect for the riders. I do want to mention, which I don't get in enough of these pods. Once I had a full-time job and I wasn't living with mom and dad, I did buy a dirt bike. I did race motocross. I haven't not ever done.
Okay, no, but like now you're bringing the stuff.
Yeah, I realized that we tell the story of how I got in the industry and then we stop and then we move on. Yeah, that was always going to be, whether I got the regular PR firm job in New York City or this job, I was going to do it. So yeah, 01, 02, 03, 04, until I got that Supercross podcast or webcast job. On the off weekends, I was going to High Point and Steel City, some of the other tracks,
and racing.
Track and racing. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude. It was
okay. I feel
horrific.
a lot better. I feel like you didn't need to experience that part of. Like,
no, I totally did.
That's great.
It's the most fun thing ever. I've raced many GNCCs. I figured out a way to start racing them while I was working there because I was like, dude, that's 2 more hours on a motorcycle. That's good. I was kind of bummed. I did the Gypsy pod and I did the same thing where we told my story and then diverted to the work part.
Yeah.
Never explained that I did buy bikes and race.
Yeah.
So then like his social comes out and he's like, he's never raced a dirt bike. I'm like, well, no. I didn't as a kid. But by 23.
That's the clickbait.
I don't think he knew. Just like you. I kind of screwed up.
Yeah.
And never reverted.
Wikipedia doesn't tell people that.
No, I didn't revert back. Yeah, exactly. So that when that social came out, I'm like, damn it. I probably should have said, as I grew up, I did not.
Well, now the world knows.
Jumping doubles at
Steel City?
Not good. Not a good way to learn to ride motorcycles. Not a good way. Like, okay, you've never rode before. Go out for practice.
Yeah.
On Sunday morning. You probably should start in a field or something. I didn't have time. I didn't know where to go, but I knew they had the races.
You had plenty of time on the quads, dude.
It might have helped a little. Like, I mean, you know what's funny? For how little I rode, I was surprised how good I was getting. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably discounting out. Riding quads at age 6 wasn't the same, but it wasn't nothing.
But I think, we always think about Stu and how good he is at seeing stuff, watching it on TV and going, dude, it's all those hours of tape he watched.
It could be.
It could be you.
Yes,
watching all these races going, well, it's like in your mind, I know what to do.
Yes, I'd hope so. I was progressing fairly rapidly in like the 3 or 4 years I did it. And the race of GNCCs too. No, like my goal eventually got to like, hey, as an industry guy, you need to be able to ride well enough when there's a bike launch or a there's an industry thing that involves riding. Mm-hmm. You got to be good enough to be able to do it. You got to be able to do laps on a track and not die. So I at least feel like I got to that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us this question.
Okay.
Like, what's something you want to achieve in your life still?
Man, there's not much left. It's so weird.
It's over. You can pack it in?
All I want to do.
If you retired tomorrow.
No, that's what I don't want to do.
Like, dude, I want to live in Denver. I want to live by Red Rocks. I want to go fishing. Like, there's got to be something like.
All I want to do is not
get on a plane.
Stop doing this. No, I just want this to last as long. When I wasn't doing Supercross, I certainly didn't feel fulfilled. So I was pumped to do Moto America. I had the foot in the door at NASCAR. I tried and tried and tried and tried. It didn't work out. I was searching for that fulfillment. Once I got back to Supercross, I'm at the point now, I'm like, I have only one goal. Keep this train rolling as long as possible. If NBC says, hey, we also do the Olympics, you want to do that? Sure. But I will not feel unfulfilled if that does not happen. Mm-hmm. When I didn't have Supercross, 100%, I had all these holes that I felt I didn't make it. I didn't quite get there. The NASCAR thing hurt. I was on the damn schedule for every week. They're sending a spreadsheet with my name on it. Blank. Talladega this weekend, not used. This week, it went on for 3 years.
That would wear on your brain, dude.
And you're trying to stay engaged to learn it and learn it and learn it and be ready when they call.
How motivated can you be?
Dude.
Right? It's still blank.
Dude, I'm PTSD on NASCAR now. Like, it's really hard to just even watch it because I just have PTSD over the hours I was pouring over it. I was on the crew. Like, NBC gets NASCAR in 2015. In 2014, they're like, we're going to start our daily news show before we even get the races the next year to start ramping it up. But we don't really have a lot of NASCAR talent. That's what they call us, talent, the talkers. They're all under contract with ESPN until this season's over. So we don't have anybody, but we have a show. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. As I'm explaining?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, motocross guy, don't you live near Charlotte? And I'm like, yep, that's why I'm here. I've been waiting for this phone call. And they're like, do you want to do some NASCAR stuff? And I'm like, that's why I moved here. So they sent me I interviewed a crew chief, went well. They're like, can you interview Jeff Gordon the next day at the Hall of Fame? And I'm like, absolutely. And they're like, you got the job. And I remember I ran into my front porch and I was fist pumping at like 11 p.m. And I'm like, I got the NASCAR job. Take that, Supercross.
Yeah.
Take that. So I interview him. We're doing stuff all year through 2014. Now the 2015 season is beginning. I'm in all the photos with the whole crew. My name's in the press release. I'm wearing a suit in the photo with Steve Letarte, the analyst.
Jamie Little in
She's on Fox, but I will say this. I went to a couple races. They sent me to a couple races to learn. She remembered me. She could. Dude, there was a whole weekend in Martinsville where she's just follow me, man. I'll tell you everything I know.
That's cool.
And she's working for Fox, who is technically our competitor.
Sure.
She was so stoked for me. And this is, dude, I worked with her in Supercross in 2005. Yeah. This is 10 years later. She had no reason to do that.
No.
She's just cool. So I'm waiting. I'm like, at some point in 2015, I'm going to go from shadowing to being on the shows. Didn't happen. 2016. Oh, they're using me for sure. 2017. And then eventually I wasn't
just
even
cold. Nothing.
Never got anything, dude. And then by 2018, I wasn't even on the emails anymore. I have no idea why. Your buddy Justin over there worked in Hollywood, key gripping and all that. It's TV, man.
Yeah.
You wanna rip your heart out. It hurts so bad. You're trying so hard. But you've signed up for the most unreliable form of employment. It's showbiz, dude.
Yeah.
You have no clue whether you're an actor or you're a singer or you're doing what I do. You have no clue.
And you think about the artists and like you're talking about that, like that are really good,
Yeah.
that you're never going to hear about.
No.
Because
And
they
you don't,
just
you
it's
don't
that
even know
right
why.
turn we're talking about
That's
all the
it.
time, right?
You don't even know why.
Justin, you got that iPad real quick? Just a couple of photos I want to show you that.
Oh, this is a thing you guys do. I like it.
Just fun, you know,
I like it. Yeah.
just bring some fun stuff up.
I love it. I love the level of research you put into it too.
Well,
This took some thought.
I feel like you should. Every host should do that.
For me, it's automatic. I'm thinking about these things
I
24/7.
mean,
Yeah.
See what we got here.
Okay, so we got the Moto 4. We got through that.
Okay, so
All right. Yeah, that's early TV days at GNCC.
here's what I like about this, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what I want to ask you about. What happened to the sideburns, dude?
I had them
They were there.
for a while.
I figure. I almost thought the TV told you to cut them off
No,
because I'm like, dude, there's some lamb chops growing here.
dude, I had them from high school all the way through. It might
at
only
them.
been like 5. I know, dude. Well, I wasn't getting the haircut probably as much as I should, but
Yeah.
they would have been there just shorter.
I got a haircut picture. Let's
please.
move on here.
Yes.
This is a great one.
Yeah, RaceRex made that on a shirt.
Yep, I had
The podcast
I got
shirt.
a bunch of
Yeah,
I
it was
gave
the
them to-
Yosh Pod.
Yeah, I gave them to all the employees here.
They really?
Yes.
Podcast.
Yep.
Yep.
See?
That was
I'm
pretty
like-
recent. At Millville, one of the AMA dudes still has a Cub. Remember these things?
Oh yeah, they only made them for like 2 or 3 years.
Right, and I was like-
90-ish.
I think so, right? 90, 91?
Yep.
That was about it. And I was like, dude, you have a Cub? I've always wanted to ride one. He's like, ride it. And I'm like, okay.
Dude, you're doing this. You're not just riding it there. You got the start technique down, bro.
Well, I wanted to show everybody, like I said, that I can actually ride a motorcycle.
Yep.
So I knew when I got on that Cub, you better have style.
Yeah, you have it for sure.
I do
But
have-
you're missing the helmet. But this is.
We're in the pits.
It's all right. Look at this.
Oh, I think that's you have only one photo from this evening?
There's more photos, but I think this is the only one from this evening.
Okay. I think that's either a DMXS party, but there's also a photo the only time I ever met Nikki Hayden. I don't know what after party that was, and I believe I have the same outfit. So that might have been whatever race that was, the night I met Nikki Hayden.
Really?
The GOAT. Legend.
That's cool.
R.I.P. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, it's me and Aaron Bates at the Retro Supercross. That's 06 Anaheim. Yeah. Davey gave me that. That's a Jackie Vamone jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first ever retro race, and it wasn't played out at that point. People were fired up. Did you go to that?
Yes.
Did you retro out?
No, I did not.
People were all in.
Well,
You can only do it once, though.
that's
It's
true.
every time it's come back, it's been
it's
a
left
shell of
on that.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
cool.
kind of like getting the band back together. It's not the same.
You're right.
Every year, it's like, you
Yes.
need to keep evolving, right?
Yes, and maybe you could do it every 10 years, and then the retro changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if we had a...
At some point, it's not retro anymore.
No. You know, if we had a Stu RC Chad era night, that would be different. But that was modern at that time.
All the gear would be baggy with the baggy
Gosh,
sleeves.
what the heck?
Dude. But
So
dude,
big.
again, look at those sideburns, bro.
That's a lot of sideburn.
It's a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I should have been on that a lot earlier. Getting rid of those.
Look at this.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
That's me and Jason Anderson at Loretta's.
Yep.
He's probably 12. Fly racing athlete. Who knew? Sideburns are there.
Dude, they're strong right there, dude.
They're strong sideburns.
This right here, you're cutting your teeth right here. You don't even know it.
Well, it really pays off because the Loretta's thing, I really only do one amateur race a year. But I always say in 6 days, I get this giant cheat sheet where I know the kids, they know me, and I really feel like later on when they first turn pro and they're so nervous.
And that's what we talked about earlier, dude.
Yeah.
Here's you
Yeah.
getting all this foundation for when these guys turn pro. Like, oh, yeah, dude, I know who you are. I know what you've done.
I know I can
watch
trust
you
you.
sweat your
Yeah.
brains out in Tennessee.
I know these times when I'm super nervous. I'm going to the podium the first time in my life. You were there to help me
Yes.
get through it.
Yep.
So I know I can trust you.
Yep.
And dude, every one of them, like I remember doing a interview with Barsha when he was like 11 or 12 and he was so nervous. And Honda and his parents being like, you can do it, man. You can do it. You can do it. And I'm like, I'm going to be as cool as I can to this kid. This is Barsha, dude. Like Barsha's a
Mr.
grown
Outgoing
man.
now,
Yes.
right?
But he was 12.
Yeah.
He was 11. So that's a lot of equity right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
My guy Stu. So this is Stu.
So I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this or
Yeah.
not, but the reason we named this podcast Pivotable, that guy right there.
Is that one of his
He
words?
said one. I I have a list of his words. I sent you.
You
before.
did say that, yes.
He said it one time on a broadcast. I'm like, I'm using that.
Pivotable.
And then that's kind of our thing too. Is like hopefully we can have some musicians on, some different stuff, but we want to be able to be pivotable.
So
I've never heard that word before until he said it.
It's weird because it isn't a word, but it really is.
Yeah,
it makes complete sense. So this is Bud's. No, he came back for one more. So I told you that they had to purposely. We're gonna take a shot at Mav TV for 1 year.
Yep.
If it works great, maybe we'll stick with him. If it doesn't, now our deal has expired at the same year as Supercross. We'll see what happens. So Davey's goal was to have, hey, we can do whatever we want. We're going to have 12 rounds. We're going to have 12 announcers. We're going to get a different old school racer analyst for every race.
That was a great idea, by the way.
It was cool. So Stu, who had been in hiding for years, calls Davey and he's like, I want in. And we're like, you're the last person on earth we would have thought wanted to do this.
Yep.
You went from I'm in hiding to I want to
how good can you even be? And now, like, dude, he is so, like, I would kill to have him on this podcast. I would really want him to be here.
Yeah.
But I think he's seriously, and we've talked about this before, he sees stuff before you guys even run a replay.
Yeah. Dude. He's next level. He's just, I said this a million times. Even the way he's looking at the monitor during the race is different.
Yeah. And dude, maybe it's just me, but dude, he is freaking funny, dude.
He is. The one-liners and stuff.
Dude.
I don't know if he comes up with it off the top of his head or what.
I just hope he doesn't change because that's his personality. He's so funny.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. I tell him all the time, like, dude, if you keep doing you, it's not even the motocross show, Supercross show is not your only limit.
Yeah.
Like, could you not see them sending him to Kentucky Derby, Olympics, and just be funny?
Just be Stu.
Yeah, just be Stu.
Yeah, don't change who you are, right?
So I remember when this photo was taken, it was like this dude who wasn't speaking to anyone for 5 years. We're like broing down this hardcore was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's one of like, dude, like he's way more normal. First, more normal than you'd think, and more normal than most of the guys I work with. And I think that's because when you're as good as he was, you don't need to ever tell anybody what you've done.
Dude, he climbed Mount Everest, bro.
Exactly. You just know.
You don't have to prove it to anybody.
There are certain guys, most are better than you think, but there are definitely ones that have to remind everybody. No.
He doesn't.
No.
Nope. And that's totally cool. He's comfortable in that in his skin like that.
He knows he's good.
Yeah. Well, put in a good word for us. Maybe
get Stu on.
Dude, I would kill.
Oh, no. He was a Yosh guy for a while.
He was a Yosh guy for
Suzuki.
4 years, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
4 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, put in a good word.
Okay, I'll tell him.
How about that hair?
Yeah.
Dude.
I hate to burst your bubble. That is actually fake.
What?
That is photoshopped.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was pretty big.
This is pre-AI.
It was pretty big. It was pre-AI, you're right. It was pretty big that day. But the GNCC TV crew, they took some liberties. That's probably double.
Okay.
It was big.
All right. I thought maybe it might have been windy that day or something.
I think that's the waterfall at Loretta's for GNCC.
Okay.
But there was before and after. And I was like, oh, we're going to run that.
Well, here's what's funny.
Yeah.
I think this is the last picture.
Okay.
Thanks for saying that was fake. So as we're looking at for pictures, this came up. So
what?
Look at Jason Weigandt.
Why? What?
Dude.
Even spelled properly. Beetlejuice? Is that Beetlejuice?
Yes, that looks like him. It doesn't look like you, but it's got your name underneath
absolutely no sense whatsoever. That is definitely fake. Definitely not me.
Yep, but that's definitely your name.
That is really weird.
You never know. They might even have your social security number.
Dude, one time I tried to buy my name as a URL, and there's a guy in Ohio with the exact same spelling, first and last name, that owns a landscaping company, and he bought the URL. So I'm like, for fun, I called the number, left a voicemail. I'm like, hey, this doesn't mean anything, but we have the same exact name and the same exact spelling.
And I want your URL.
Yeah. And I'm like, give me a call back if you want to chat. But he never called.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't get the message, dude. You never know. You might need to call him again.
Yeah. The URL could have come in handy.
You haven't seen me on NBC Sports, buddy.
I didn't try to reveal. You don't want to let him know what kind of leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be asking for $100 instead of 10.
Exactly. So I was like, let's low key.
Yeah.
Low key it.
Well, dude, hey,
how long do we go here?
I don't even know, dude.
It's
like midnight or something.
That's what it feels like.
But it's good to, thanks for coming, man. This has been so
Glad
cool.
to do it.
And dude, love to have you on again. Who knows when, right? But I really, really do appreciate you coming, spending the time.
Yep.
I know you are a super busy guy, but it means a lot that you carved time out to come here and to Yosh. So appreciate you, man.
I was stoked to do it. I was looking forward, like you said, I was actually looking forward to it. It wasn't like I had to do it. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I was looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, I like it.
So you're not twisting my arm here.
All right.
Yeah, just don't tell my wife. I could have flown tonight, but I flew this morning.
It's a good thing we're right next to the Pala track in Chino.
Right.
Yeah,
next door.
right, dude. We're right next door. So
Yes.
this is like nothing for you to.
And I did miscalculate a little bit when I asked you the distances from everything.
Yeah, that's okay. Miscalculations are fine.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I thought everything was closer than that.
You got a free burrito, bro.
I'll do anything for a free burrito.
We'll end it there. Free burritos.
Yes. Right on, Biggie. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
man.
Yep.
Yep.